Funny how my heart is open.
Hello? Hello? Hello, 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 hello. Hello. It's unmuted this time. It's not muted, I checked. Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, whatever fucking time of day it is by you. It's the 17th of July, and it's like 10 fucking p.m. by me. Hey, Asana. Hey, Asana of Industries. Hey, good to see you. So, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Doing good, doing good, doing good. Lots of fun, lots of fun. So, as you've noticed by the stream title, it's called Why Your Goth Girlfriend Won't Make Things Better. It's just a play on the goth stuff, so. But we're going to talk about why goths like to gatekeep shit. And why it's bad, in my opinion, but why other people think it's good. And it's kind of annoying. So we're going to have some interesting perspectives from it. But it'll be fun. Trust me. It'll be fun. It won't be boring. But we will, as always, ease our way in. But the question is, do we ease our way in with memes? Or with an explanation as to why goths wear onks? I think the onks. We'll stay on subject. We'll stay on subject. We'll do that. Because I think that's better. So let's go ahead and turn that down a bit more. But yeah. So we'll start with onks first. So that means we have to go over to the chatting screen. Follow me, yes? Ooh. Here we are, yes. And that means also that this music goes sleepy. Bye-bye music. So, yes. It's gonna be a goth culture night, because why the fuck not? Not enough people talk about goth culture and whys and whats of everything. So I figured, why not? So, yes. This is from KJ Russell, as always. She will ease us in. She will lube it up. She'll loosen it up for the content, as I always like to say. She'll kind of get everybody kind of in the mood, you know, loosen it up nice and soft, nice and carefully. Get you all ready to go for the content. The content. Totally the content. This is a history of unks and why people wear them. I myself do have a lot of unks. I enjoy unks. But you know, there's a big fashion trend on goth TikTok that everybody kind of has these unk belts as well. It's like a huge trend right now. So yes. And also, let me say hello to people, because my brain's just kind of like going, content. So I said hi to Hasanavi Industries. The Noto, of course, School Tempura. Hello Soon. Hello Tiamani. Hello Asdif. Hello Brilliant Drink. That's probably a couple other people I didn't see. Ah, yes, Serventius. Hello, 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 hello. So yes, we shall begin. And if you hear any noises in the background, as always, that's my partner just whacking away with their VR headsets, because that's what they do in this time. But yeah, okay. So, Little Bear, how dare you? Initiated a roll. It's somebody. Why? Why? Did it even work? I didn't see it. Son of a bitch. Oh, I know why. Is it because you're so far down? Get your ass up. Let's see. Let's find out if it worked. Because if it didn't, you deserve a dice roll. Why are you not showing up, you dirty, dirty, dirty thing?
Good. I'll link the thing. Okay. All right. Yeah, you watch in general chat, and then you go and do it. Are we gonna do it right now, Elysium, in 10 minutes?
Shout out while I try to figure out what the hell. Why are you not working?
Yep. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Amazing. Okay, I didn't get it wrong. I thought for a second, fuck. Okay, that's fine. This is easy.
This is interesting. Oh well. Well, that's fun. Like, why is it not working? Let me try putting it all the way up here, maybe? One more time? No, did you get moved? Did you get moved? No, you didn't. You're still there. Well, fuck you, dice roll. 1 second. Let me check it on the other thing really quick. Just for shits and giggles. Because this fucker should be working. I'm mad. Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay, well, dice is out of commission for the evening. I checked it earlier before I started, and of course, it's like, no, I'm not going to work. Does any of my other stuff work is the question. Well, fuck you, streamer bot. Why you being like this? Well, it's probably just a layer issue. Shit can't always go to plan. Fun times. So, we were here. We go back here. Don't mind this. Don't mind this. So, this is really weird. Because it literally worked 5 minutes ago. Huh. What if I make it visible and then invisible? No, you're just not sure. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Is it this, maybe? No, I don't think so. Is it me? Am I the drama? No, it's not me. It's the fucking OBS. And I'm not restarting it, so yeah. Oh well. We don't need dice tonight anyway, because there's no changing the goddamn content. We're on the train. Yeah, it's all the way at the top. I think it's just being weird. StreamerBot did some weird shit yesterday as well with disconnecting from OBS, so we'll have to see. It worked earlier. It's just kind of irritating when shit doesn't work. Well, what game on? Let's go to the game thing really quick. You get to see all my scenes just randomly, everybody. Yeah, it's all the way at the top as well. I think it's something with the scene. Yeah, there's probably something out of order. See, there's just the plain old dice scene. Ain't shit there. Well, I'll figure it out later. It's not that big of a deal. If we were doing something very important, then it would really suck. But for now, it works. It'll be fine. Fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. But yeah. Yes, continue. It doesn't matter. I'm just talking about unks. We're talking about goth content. But yeah. Thank you, Little Bear, for interrupting, of course. No, I'm just kidding. Someone would have figured out eventually, be like, wait a minute, it doesn't work. I owe Little Bear a dice roll then. Gotta remember that, because it's not cheap to do. So, all right. So, we'll start the history of unks and why people wear it, and hopefully no one's ears get blown off. Oh no, hers got the volume set pretty low.
Ankh, the symbol you can find everywhere, even if you possess very tiniest bit interest in ancient Egypt or the goth subculture. Or even if you're more of a geek. Ankh is also in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, Assassin's Creed, and I believe some other games that I don't know that much about. In my previous video on why goth wear crosses, there were comments saying that you would like to know why Ankh appears in goth subculture and still remains a pretty well-known motif until nowadays as well. So let's waste no more time. Ankh is an ancient Egypt hieroglyph that has appeared since the Old Kingdom era around 2613 to 2181.
We had a full
before
history
the
lesson of where the Ankh came from.
I know the concept of life doesn't really strike you as goth, but we'll get there. Ancient Egyptians are very well known to have strong belief in the afterlife and the belief that they will be revived back into their bodies. So the Ankh symbol was closely tied to this idea. Ankh were often placed in sarcophagi and depicted in pharaoh's hand as a protection to the afterlife. Even common people at the time used the Ankh as a protection.
Because goths liked them, that's why Zenodo. Because goths like them. You gonna tell the goth girls to not wear them anymore? You gonna tell them to get rid of their belts? Yeah, it's that everything's kind of always a gimmick. A lot of the goth community has a lot of these type of things.
Amulet. It could be crafted from different materials like golds or color ceramics, depending on their status. And in paintings,
it looks cool. Exactly, that's all that matters.
Or blue. Many gods, especially Isis, the goddess of healing and magic, are often shown placing Ankh on the human's lips to revive them, which is similar to the tale of how she revived her husband, Osiris, with mummification method. In a sense, Ankh doesn't only mean life but also reincarnation and eternal life. Apart from Isis, Ankh is also depicted with other deities, for instance, Amun, the creator and the king of gods, Ra, the sun god, Ptah, the architect god, Ma'at, the goddess of justice, balance, and order, Anubis, the god of funeral rites, Sekhmet, the goddess of war and healing, and also the inquisitor of Ra, and lastly, Neith, the goddess of creation, weaving, and war. And if you think that Neith pantheon sounds oddly similar to Athena, the goddess of knowledge and war, who is also known for her weaving skill, this Egyptian goddess Neith actually influenced the Greek goddess Athena to some degree. Ankh was a very strong symbol, so much so that even when Pharaoh Akhenaten banned the worship of other deities and established Aten as the only god, Ankh was still used to depict the race of Aten. Despite its
Sonoto can tell us if
significance,
these things
it
are
is still
accurate.
unclear where
Sonoto's like, this
exactly
shit's not right.
this symbol originated from, but of course there are some theories. Number one, Ankh could have originated from a sandal strap, given the similarity between the words for sandal, Ankh, I don't know how to pronounce it, but written as NKH, and life, Ankh. Number two, the belt buckle of the goddess Isis, known as Tiet, related to life and protection. Or number three, it could be the combination of the male and female reproductive organs. And even after the end of ancient Egypt, this symbol of life was then adopted to Coptic Christianity.
There you go. The Christians get
Coptic
involved.
Christianity, or now Coptic Orthodox, was established by Mark the Evangelist around the year 42, before Christians became a minority in Egypt after the Islamic rule later. The Coptic symbol, known as Crux Ansata, or the handle cross, could either be directly influenced by the staurogram, a monogram of Jesus, or Ankh, or both of them. The reason why Copts adapt the Ankh to their religion, art, and textile might be because it symbolizes eternal life and resurrection, which aligns very well with Christian belief in Christ's resurrection. However, if you look it up right now, the Coptic Orthodox
Nobody
Church
wanted
now
him to
use
come
a
back.
different Coptic cross. Now it's a cross with equal arms, and each arm has 3 pointed ends representing the Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
So while the Copts have preserved the Ankh after the end of ancient Egypt, they were not the main reason
Jesus,
the symbol
or
is still
Ankh.
used today. Ancient Egyptian culture has faced so many waves of revival that I don't even know where to start. But we can surely start with the first wave of ancient Egyptian revival after Napoleon's conquest of Egypt and their discovery of the Rosetta Stone on the 15th of July, 1799.
Yes, the
The
Rosetta
Rosetta
Stone.
Stone led to greater knowledge about hieroglyphs in ancient Egyptian history after
One of my
its
favorite
full
goth bands,
translation in
Rosetta Stone.
1822. Additionally, from the
And also a
Rosetta
language
Stone,
program.
the publication of the Description de l'Egypte, a book series from 1809 to 1829 by scientists and scholars who accompanied Napoleon Bonaparte, fueled public fascination with ancient Egypt
Hey,
even
Devington.
more. So after this trend being very popular, people then applied their motifs to architecture, especially after the American Quarterly Review included a whole 40 pages section to discuss ancient Egyptian architecture. So here are
40
some
pages.
examples of how the ancient motifs are used during the revival era. Number 1, the Fontaine du Vela in Paris, 1806.
Isn't it funny that a lot of these Egyptian things aren't in Egypt? Wonder what that is. That's a very interesting thing. Oh, you almost finished the poem. Cool. Can't wait to see it. Quite really cute. He's in the corner snoring right now, as always. He's doing what he does best. But yeah, there's actually a really great podcast I used to listen to called Things the British Stole. And I really enjoyed that one. It basically went into the backstories of like countries trying to get their treasures back, trying to get their national, like basically the shit that belongs to them back, and the backstory of how it was stolen, why it was stolen, and why it ended up where it did. I think it's an Australian podcast. It's really good. And yeah, they were going to like the Maori heads as to why they were stolen, and the Maori actually did get them back recently. They were also going into things like how certain things were stolen from African tribes and just how dirty the British were when they stole it. It's so fucked up. And especially around Egyptian, like art and like everything from Egypt, basically, the UK took. And when in the Egypt, like when the National Museum is asked in the UK, why don't you give it back? Their answer is they don't have the facilities to properly store it. They're acting like Egyptians don't know how to take care of their own national treasures. It's like, what? Yes, things the British stole. The Australian continent. Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting content. I really enjoyed that podcast. But yeah, it's pretty fucked up that the National Museum pretty much just goes, yes, no, you're not civilized enough to take your things back. I say. That's literally why they won't give it back. It's so fucking stupid. It's really dumb. It's dumb. It's everywhere else but where it belongs. I always find that very irritating.
Number 2, the Egyptian gates of Sakuragore in 1829.
Professor Wobbles, thank you for the follow.
In 1838, and two-row cemetery gates built during 1843. So after it became a trend for quite
Jesus
some
Christ,
time, the trend started to fade in
120,000 Egyptian
1850,
artifacts. Fuck
and
me.
then the second wave of revival in America was very quickly spurred due to the opening of the Suez Canal in 1869, only like 19 years after that. And after it became a trend, it kind of faded away little by little, but then the third wave, or the era that some people call Tutmania, started after the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, which influenced the Art Deco movement during the same time. So during these revivals, the Ankh symbol was mostly
During
carved
the
in
time that a
cemeteries
ton
and
of shit was
gravestones,
stolen.
similar to how they adapted the symbol of Sandix, Sphinx, Scarab, Lotus, and Obelix to funeral places. And here are some examples.
That's an interesting fact. And mummy's brown color is called that because they used to grind up mummies for paint. That's fucking great. Oh, look at this lovely mummy. This used to be someone. Oh, I bet you they'd make wicked paint. Oh, perfect. Just lovely. Look at the English soil color we can get. Fucking terrible. But yeah, definitely stole a lot. A lot of things were taken. And then on top of it, like just basically like not even told that like, I'm pretty sure there's probably took a long time for Egypt to realize exactly how many things have been stolen and to document them all. I bet that sucks. Favorite color is Egyptian blue. I bet mine's black.
Examples of how
some red.
Ankh
It's
was
kind of
used
obvious, isn't it?
in cemetery or mausoleum. Frank W.
Mummy no
Woolworth
yummy?
Mausoleum
No?
in Woodlawn
Damn.
Cemetery, New York. Emil Winter also take the design from Woolworth and built the Winters family mausoleum at Allegheny Cemetery in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with the same design, also including the Ankh, the tomb of Egyptologist Amelia B. Edwards, and a gravestone at the Gap Road Cemetery in Wimbledon, England. Apart from the revival, people also get to know more about Egypt in the golden age of Egyptian cinema during the 1940s to 1960s. Another main influence was from the rise of Kemetism, an attempt to revive ancient Egyptian religion during the 70s. Kemetism became so widespread that there are people who established a systematic church called Kemetic Orthodoxy in 1988. And naturally, no matter if they are in Kemetic Orthodoxy or practice Kemetism in other ways, they still place Ankh in high importance. And not early Kemetism, Ankh was also used by New Age movements as a symbol of life, death, resurrection, and occasionally protection.
Now we get to the Ankh and goth subculture.
So the goth subculture, as we know, emerged in the late 1970s. And even though it's not like really the highest peak of ancient Egyptian influence, many people were already very familiar with this concept. Ancient Egyptian spiritual ideas about death and the afterlife, as well as the Ankh symbol relating to life, the afterlife, and resurrection, resonate well with goth, because goth naturally appreciate existential contemplation, so it's not out of place at all to see Ankh
Basically, we like to
on
think about
their
death.
outfits or album covers. For example, Ankh appears on Lesbian Vampires from Outer Space album and Creepy Crawlines album by Scary B.
Scary bitches.
Yeah, I need to do that for YouTube. It also appears on D28 by Simon Sanctuary, The Mystery of the Whisper, and The Telemetry of a Fallen Angel by The Cruise Shadow. And it's not only Ankh. Other ancient Egyptian themes are also mentioned in goth music and art as well. And here are some notable examples, like how there are goth bands named Rosetta Stone and also Busted, and how the Eye of Horus appears on the Sisters Mercy Vision Thing album.
Sisters of Mercy,
But of course, the goth feeling of like being connected to existential contemplation is not the only reason why Ankh remain a strong motive in goth subculture. Upon reading several
Zenodo's clapping
forums,
SD
people
for
who are
comments
into whether
on
Gothic
ancient
aesthetic or
Egypt.
gods of culture often mention two main media that make them research more about Ankh. The first one is from an iconic Susi goth-inspired character, Death, from Neil Gaiman's Sandman comic, first appeared in
Neil Gaiman's
1989.
great.
She wears the Eye of Horus eyeliner as
Yep.
well as the Ankh
Very
necklace.
iconic.
Ankh is a perfect symbol for her since, in the comic, Death appears towards everyone, twice. Once when she gives the breath of life and another one when they die. So she embodies the concept of birth, death, and life similar to the Ankh. The second one often mentioned was The Hunger in
I heard about that.
1983, the movie that has Peter Murphy singing Bela Lugosi's dead in
Oh,
the
The
golf
Hunger.
club in the beginning of the film. So
Yeah.
don't ask me why this movie is appealing
David
to
Bowie's in it.
goth.
Because David Bowie's
The
in it.
Hunger was a story about an
That's
ancient
why.
vampire, Miriam Blaylock, whose her turned vampire lover, John, began to suffer from rapid aging despite his
Just give me a moment, please. David Bowie, White Duke era. Ah, he was very creative. He also he was a very flawed person as well. But god damn, was he creative with his eras. He stole a lot of his I feel like he stole quite a bit from the black community with certain things during the White Duke era as well. That I'm not very fond of. But David Bowie in general was just a very amazing artist. Very, very big fan really of just what he did artistically. And the way he went out, Jesus Christ, bro's like, yeah, I'm dying, and like literally released an album and dies a couple days later. It's like, Jesus Christ, Bowie, way to go, bro, way to go. Hello, Struth. But yeah, just insane. Yes, this movie's more about looks than it is the story. To be fair, it's more visuals than it is the story. It's mid, to be fair.
supposedly eternal life. In the movie, the Ankh appeared as a blade pendant for Miriam to use to cut her victims before drinking their blood. Miriam mentioned Ankh as a symbol of everlasting life,
My
which
partner's
fits
going through
very
it in
well
VR.
with the
They're
vampire
being quite
concept of
violent.
immortality.
God damn.
And the Hunger is not the only time Ankh has been associated with vampires. Other examples include the symbol of Camarilla, the vampire sect in a
Vampire the
1991
Masquerade.
tabletop RPG game, Vampire the Masquerade.
Yep.
The reverse Ankh is also the symbol of the Sabbath, another vampire organization from the
We need to
same
play
game.
Vampire the Masquerade.
Apart from game, Ankh
If
was
we
a
can get
symbol of
fucking
the
work.
Sabertooth clan, one of the most well-known vampire communities founded by Father Sebastian, a fangsmith. He commissioned Lord D. Drennan, a metal manipulator, for the first legacy Ankh.
Yeah.
This legacy Ankh was used in vampire gatherings hosted
So the dude who was here just a moment ago, this guy, Father Sebastian, is notorious. Every year there's a vampire ball in New Orleans, which Anne Rice, I think, used to be involved with. I don't know if she still is anymore. But this dude is pretty much at every fucking festival. He's also at Wave Gothic always. He will literally make you custom vampire fangs that you can like basically click over your teeth and they stick really well. So he'll take like a quick mold of your teeth and you come back like a couple hours later and you have vampire teeth. So you get like canines that he'll custom make you. You reached my follower goal. Yay. Yes, I didn't really set it before stream. So it's just the breasts from whatever I had set left. My brain was kind of in la la land. Do I have vampire teeth? Yes, I have a couple of them. I wore them a lot in school because I thought it was cool. Like I remember going to the US and for Halloween, I found these like ones that you did like plastic and you like stuck them in. And I thought they were so awesome that I got like 3 pairs of them and brought them back to Germany with me and would wear them to school. And I got roasted for it. I don't care. You could not chew in those fucking things. The way I had to chew with like my back teeth carefully when I had these bitches in, and I always had like dental glue with me to like glue them back in. Fixodent, I think, is what I used, or some similar stuff. I forget what it's called. And you just glue them in. And yeah, you could like, you had to brush your teeth really good after you took them out because you had like this gummy shit on your teeth. So the new ones now, they just kind of like click on and you can get them like done. Like I've thought about getting like veneers done that look like that, but it's just, I just bite my tongue more, and you know, they'd look cool, and then I get tired of them, and people be, I mean, guys have vampire teeth, and you're just tired of saying it. It's bad enough that people are like, let me see your tattoos, or oh my god, what's that necklace? It's like, okay, don't touch the goths. Leave me be. Or, oh, you're a tall one, aren't you? You just want to go to the store, buy your shit, and be left alone a lot of the time. Rude Didi, thank you for the follow. But yeah, I had those, and Father Sebastian is like the homie that goes around and does it everywhere. So yeah, tons of fun.
Sebastian Fangsmith. He commissioned Lord D. Drennan, a metal manipulator, for
Yeah,
the
don't pet
first
wild
Legacy Ankh. This Legacy Ankh was used in vampire gatherings hosted by Father Sebastian himself, like the Endless Night Vampire Ball, started
like it
in
when you touch us.
1996, which still exists in this year in 2024, and also in his Black Veil book. So as you can see, with these influences from goth music itself and other related media, and also how people associated ancient Egyptian with death and the afterlife, we can now see why many goth, or people who dress in a gothic manner or
Like
who is
Ankhs.
darkly inclined, tend to love Ankh or use Ankh in their outfit. If you want a clear example if Ankh accessory has ever really become a trend,
Oh,
I think the Killstar
there it
Cena
is.
Ankh belt that everyone seems to be talking about is a very fitting example.
I have never seen this belt by Killstar. First of all, I don't really go by Killstar. I'm not a big fan of their fashion. It's mid quality. Like, I think what I'm wearing today is like just literally like right now it's just like lazy clothes. It's all Foxblood. It's my favorite brand from California, but like their stuff is good. But the problem with Killstar is they are fast fashion. It is not that great. You do pay a lot of money. It's like occult luxury bullshit. It's more like cheap, like goth clothes with a big price tag slapped on them. It's kind of the same as like a couple other like goth fashion brands. Like what is it? Punk Rave is one. Punk Rave you gotta be careful with though, because Punk Rave sells their clothing in Asian sizes, and if you're a European who's like 6'3", 1.92 m, you will probably not fit into them, and you'll buy them and be like, oh shit, and you've got to rework them. That's what happens with me. I've been burned too many times by Punk Rave's clothing. They're like, oh yeah, they're long. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, it's happening in everything fashion now, unfortunately. Yes. And I've kind of gone away from Killstar because like every once in a while I'll see stuff and I'll be like, and then I look at it and they pay a lot, like a lot of influencers are in there, like Circle, who do stuff. And it's not that it's bad. It's just that I don't like that. I feel like they're throwing so much shit at the wall when it comes to like things. Like this Ankh belt is old. I can tell because that thing that she's wearing and those leggings are like years ago. I remember those leggings and I have that thing she's wearing, that like lace, like bolero. I have that. That's from like 3 years ago. So why is everyone talking about this Ankh belt that's like from 3 years ago? I don't fucking get it. Probably people are probably thrifting it, which is good at least. But Killstar has recently opened something on their website to where you can resell Killstar clothing you've bought on their own platform, basically. So they have like their own like, I guess, eBay or like resale or like secondhand shop where you can buy clothing from other people who have bought them from Killstar, who are reselling them at least to like minimize waste. But I mean, Killstar's clothes are kind of so-so. Like if you're buying like some of them, they're not exactly the best quality. Like you can go better with a lot of independent brands. One really great brand I cannot recommend enough is Forest Inc. Holy shit, they're amazing. They're out of Texas. They're very like non-sweatshop. They are a very small like business, but they're amazing, very size inclusive, very inclusive in general. They've got really great like spider web, like prints, lots of really great clothes. Like I got today, I was wearing the really cool trousers from them. They're like lace up in the front. And even though I'm really tall, they fit really well. So I can't complain about the quality. Like I cannot recommend them enough. Like if you're looking for a good brand, you know, they're a smaller business, so they do run slower, and pretty much they package everything in reusable packaging and like biodegradable packaging, which is really great to see. Because unfortunately, like a lot of fast fashion, especially within the goth community, like Temu shit, I've never shopped from Temu or any of those. I don't like the idea of it. It's not for me. I know that some people don't have the financial means to shop for those type of things anywhere else, but you can buy secondhand or you can remake something you have. Like if you've got a black t-shirt and you're like, oh, I wish this was cooler, you can look online and find lots of really great tutorials on how to use bleach to kind of make like a cool pattern, or like scissors or knotting or special cutting techniques to make the shirt really cool. You can turn a shirt into a dress super easily. You just literally like cut the sleeves off and use the sleeves to make the straps, and then you can kind of cut it and manipulate it, and it's super easy to do. So upcycling and thrifting is a really great thing. It's a big part of the goth community as well, because it adds more personality to your clothing, because you're not wearing something that everyone else has. You're wearing something that you made. Like, I've spent most of my goth life doing that. Like, I always buy Hassan shirts that are black, and I always like usually like his hyper pogger shirt I've ripped up and kind of like cut. I've done a couple of other shirts and stuff, and I enjoy that. Like, I'm making it my own thing, kind of, because it's not goth enough for me. It has to be black. I have dyed one of his shirts as well. I've got to kind of finish that one still. I'm trying to make it into like a dress. But yeah, I do that kind of stuff. I love doing that. But, you know, not everyone has those resources. So yeah, just take Killstar with a grain of salt. They're not the best quality, and you pay a little too much money for what you're buying, and it is fast fashion, and some of it smells absolutely horrid when you get it. So no, there's a lot better brands
for this case. Apart from the gods of culture, Ankh has also become somewhat popular among people of African descent, though it's not very commonly used, and it's not like you can see black people wearing Ankh everywhere as well. But when you search for information about Ankh on YouTube or any other platform, you can see that a lot of African people or black people sharing information about Ankh and also other Egyptian symbols. Moreover, there are Kemetism communities led by Africans. For example, Kemetic Legacy Today, a weekly show that aired in 2010, and you can see clearly that Ankh is being applied into their practices. Aside from that, in music, Ankhs are featured in Erykah Badu's album New America Part 2,
Erykah
Return
Badu,
of
I
the
love
Ankh,
her.
featuring hip-hop, funk, and soul music. It's also seen in the Wake Me When I'm Free exhibit, which explores the life and legacy of the rapper Tupac Shakur. And for goth, some Afro-goth also use Ankh in their outfit, although Ankh is not really like a mandatory motif for every Afro-goth or even goth to use. I think a lot of you might have to question is it cultural appropriation to wear an Ankh if you're not from Egypt or Africa. I don't think it's offensive, especially when you appreciate its meaning and know where it came from. Besides, most Egyptians nowadays are Muslim and no longer worship the ancient Egyptian gods like how they did thousands of years ago, so I don't think they are likely to be offended. The Ankh has also been adapted to various groups and also communities, such as vampire goth and also people who practice Kemetism. Similarly, not all Africans
With
wear
Yu-Gi-Oh, I
Ankh.
really don't know. I don't pay attention to Yu-Gi-Oh. I only know that it's very over the top and extra. That's all I know. I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Directly from Egypt, but these people appreciate its deep meaning. For the fashion side, though I can't say the same things about every single brand, but some of them do create Ankh jewelry with respect to its origin and at least explain its meanings properly to their customers, so the customer know that this symbol is not only a fashion statement. So are these people,
enough that gothic
people
brand
that
is
I
like
mentioned,
super cheap
appropriating
jewelry.
the symbol just because they are not from Egypt? No, I don't think so. Because if it's considered that way, then no one could ever use this symbol ever again, since people who really earn this symbol, the ancient Egyptian people, they are practically not here anymore. And if we just neglect pointing fingers at everybody who wear an Ankh, then this beautiful symbol would just sadly disappear. But if you have a different opinion or if there's anything you want to add, please do share, because this is only my point of view. I might miss something. And I'm very curious to see what other people think about this topic as well. So, what do we get from this? In short, the Ankh was a symbol of life in ancient Egypt at first. Then it get adapted into Christianity, appeared on European American graveyards, and also was incorporated into Neo-Egyptian religion.
I would not be surprised if it was part of the whole Edwardian, not Edwardian, but like the 1800s, the Victorian obsession with death. It's not very surprising that they would get obsessed with the Ankh symbol, you know. basically there's a large part of goth culture that is very obsessed with the 1800s, like Victorian death obsession that a lot of them have with the way that they have funerals or the way they showed the bodies. With like, I know that there are people who collect literal baby coffins and things from Edwardian times, or the way that they used to like pose bodies for photography. Yes, mysticism especially, there was a huge trend of it in the within the Victorian time. So yes, there was a lot of trends within like occult and trying to like have, you know, seances and things like that. It was very popular. So it's not surprising to see ankhs being used on gravestones from people who have very English names. Not surprising at all.
Vampire clubs, African communities, gods of culture, and so many more. Personally, I think it's fascinating how this symbol thrived and adapted over time and still remains, roughly, practically, the same meaning. Anyway, that's all I have about Ankh. And if you find this enjoyable or insightful, please leave a like or subscribe, especially if you like gothic stuff and dark aesthetics, like me. Thank you for being here.
Yay.
See you on the next journey.
I was enjoying her videos.
It's quite embarrassing, but the thing that really got me into researching about Ankh is not really a cult movie, not ancient Egyptian myth. It's not
belt.
even goth fashion or music.
No?
It was from a character named Ankh from the Japanese Mask Rider O's series. Yeah.
Funny. Yeah, her art style is really great. Okay, so now the next ones are going to be a little chunky. So we've gone a bit into hers because there's To Get Ready With Me. Then we've also got this one of Alyssa Rain. They both have very differing opinions. There's some differing opinions. And then we've got this from Calda's Life, which is about the problems the goth community has on TikTok, which is fucking huge. Hello, welcome in. Odd, not normal. The problem is that we have a community that is at odds consistently over what is okay and what is not okay, what is goth and what is not goth. And it gets exhausting and I'm tired of it. And that's a lot of the time where like I don't really interact with the goth community on TikTok. I don't give a shit. Sorry, I'm just kind of I'm a solitary goth. I'll do my shit. If I meet some other goths, wonderful, amazing. But I'm not going to go out of my way to find like goths on TikTok because I don't agree with how people are kind of trying to give the tone on like, I'm trying to say in German sayings in English, to trying to give like the tone on how people should dress, act, or be within the subculture. So the constant disagreement is that goth is a music-based subculture. Yes and no. So don't get me wrong. Goth music does have a certain way of dressing, but that's not 100% the case in my opinion. I think the goth subculture is just a love of the dark, of the romanticism around vampires. It's a love of like existentially thinking about death, you know, all these type of things. It's just a kind of an amalgamation of everything kind of together in a ball. And it's very annoying. Well, in the goth community, it's extra annoying. It's extra annoying now that TikTok's involved because everybody's got their own like everybody's trying to give their own 2 cents. They're all trying to like throw their opinion in and be like, well, you know, it's this. This is what I think. You've got the elder goths who are a bunch of cunts. I'm sorry. Because they all think, well, I'm an elder goth and we went through these things. We read the literature and we listened to the music. We went to the concerts. We dressed and made our clothing. We went through the nights. Shut the fuck up, you pompous piece of shit. Just because you're old, no one knows you respect. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. Listen, I'm over 30. I don't give a fuck. If some baby back comes and goes, hey, you know, I like these things and I want to do these things. I'm like, cool. Okay, awesome. And they're like, well, what do you think? I'm like, cool. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Be a part of the community. Like, see if you like things and find what you like, find yourself and figure out what works. That's the problem. A lot of these motherfuckers need room to first figure out what they like once they enter the community. But everybody wants them to follow these fucking rules when they just entered the goddamn community. And it's like, chill, daddy, chill, okay? Like, yeah. Is the beef with goth traditionalists? Yeah. The problem is a lot of people don't want to break from the fact that you have to listen to goth to be a goth. You have to listen to goth music. You have to. If you can't name a goth, you can't be a metalhead if you don't listen to metal. Listen, metalheads consistently argue around new metal. We're not even gonna start about Slipknot. Slipknot, oh my God, like if anyone's into metal, you will know the discourse around Slipknot. There, for some reason, metalheads are like just absolutely at war always over Slipknot, and if it's metal or not, or if it's, you know, new metal. Is new metal metal? I mean, is it or isn't it? And there's just so much discourse around it, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So basically what happens is people go, no, it's a music-based subculture. We don't like this. You have to do this. And then all of a sudden, something comes in that's not quite fitting the subculture, but fits the vibes and things, and people are like, well, is it or isn't it? And then the argument ensues. And then people are like, well, you have to read like Bram Stoker's Dracula. You have to read all the vampire books and Anne Rice. And no, you fucking don't. Well, you need to know Bela Lugosi's dead if you don't. No, you fucking don't. The thing is, a lot of people like the vibes of goth. And it pisses the purists off that you're not listening to their fucking music. You're not putting on, you know, Bauhaus and fucking Virgin Prunes and, you know, Susie and the Banshees or Rosetta, you know, London After Midnight or any of these motherfuckers when you're sitting there. Oh, you're not listening to any of this bit. Like, this always pisses me off a lot. So it's just very infuriating. The whole community, like, is in disarray. There's no real unity, and that's the problem. So this is what this conversation is about. So she's doing like a skincare thing, and she's going to talk about some stuff here that this is a very common occurrence where like things come out or are released or are like collaborations with brands, and people are like, no, that's not goth. No, what else? What the fuck? Like, she'll name an example, which was Elf did a collaboration with Liquid Death, which is that stupid fucking water. They did a corpse paint kit, right? If anyone doesn't know what corpse paint is, it's what black metal singers and people in the metal community do, where they'll paint their face white, and they'll usually do like tear or like rip marks down the eyes and then on the face. You know, if you've seen like the band Immortal, etc., you've seen what corpse paint looks like. So they released a kit for that, and people got really pissed off for some dumb fucking reason. I don't know why. So, okay. So she's going to talk about this first, and you'll get kind of a vibe from like goth TikTok and why people are kind of irritated.
Don't look like I have risen
Her audio's
from the dead.
so.
Speaking of,
It's bad, sorry.
I saw that, was it Elf? I think it was Elf and Liquid Death did like a...
By the way, this is Kitty Kochan. She is a black goth creator. She's great. Not enough of them, unfortunately. Need to be more. See, look, that's corpse paint right there. That is corpse paint. This was the kit the Elf and Liquid Death released that was like a limited edition thing. So, yeah, like Kiss. Kiss borrowed it from black metal though. That's where they got it from, kind of a bit. Like it's we don't go into that one. That's another can of worms. We're not going to open as to who like started the fucking corpse paint first. We're not going to go into that
a
one.
Collaboration for like corpse paint makeup or something like that.
Hey,
I've
Lily.
been noticing a lot of like I've just been seeing a lot of people express a certain disposition to that.
Like, oh no, not the normies, oh no.
The normie shit.
I've been a part of this subculture for a very, very long time. I am 30, okay? Like, I've been in this hoe. It's not that deep.
Put that.
Who cares?
I love Vivian.
Even Dolls Kill have used corpse paint for marketing. It's corpse paint. It's been played out, love.
Then, of course, we have the Liquid Death and Elf Cosmetics corpse paint collaboration that some people are mad about because of the way that they promoted the ad, saying that a bunch of normies are now going to be buying the...
You'll notice a reoccurring term. The normies. The normies. The normies. I don't like that term either. Like a lot of communities, like leftists have that as well with normies around political people who are not quite as politically aligned, or people who are not quite as politically woke or aware of the situation around politics or don't care to be. They're the normies. But to a certain extent, the term normies is like, okay, yeah. But when you use it too much, it gets very irritating. And you're like, okay, we get it. You're saying normies. It's enough, sweetie. We get it. Stop saying normies. Just say people, like, what, in my opinion, sometimes normies also means like not goth enough goths. I don't like that. So I am very anti-exclusionary. I don't like people who try to keep other people out of their spaces. You know, like the goth community. And there are groups and swathes of the goth community that don't like black people in their community because they think vampires and goths need to be pale white bitches. I hate that. I really fucking do. And the first thing, I was saying this in So Freely stream earlier, that when I find a new goth content creator and they happen to be a white woman or girl, I will scroll through their follows to see who they follow on TikTok. And if I don't see one black goth creator who I follow, I'm out. I don't want nothing to do with you because I have a very strong feeling that you associate with a certain type of people because you think they're better than someone else. And I know that's a bit of a weird thing to think or to go like, oh, you know, to assume that. But listen, if you are really accepting and really in the goth community, there shouldn't be a fucking problem with that at all. You know? So that's the first thing I do. I'll look and I'm like, I'm out. Like one of these, this Rain, in the Alyssa Rain that we'll look at here in a few minutes. She was one I kind of looked through and I'm like, she's still lit for me. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it bothers me immensely because you just feel like they're excluding a whole group of people because it doesn't fit the aesthetic. Fuck you. Fuck you. Like what? So fucking stupid.
Palette and the face paint and everything. Who the fuck cares?
Exactly.
Like, seriously, part of human nature is to grow and change and experience new things and enjoy different things.
Wait till they
it's
watch
not
Play.
that
Most
hard
of them do.
Concept. We've done it too. Unless your parents were already in an alternative subculture when you were popped out.
Lily, we don't need to explain what most of these little motherfuckers grew up watching. It's Twilight. And there's one black character in Twilight. One, if I'm not wrong. Uno más. Eins. Just one black character, as far as I can remember. Bro, the ponies are so sassy tonight outside. They're just out there just fighting because my back window's open. I can hear the ponies having little fights on the field next door. But, you know, most people grew up watching Twilight. And Twilight, let's be real, didn't have a lot of representation because a Mormon woman wrote it. Yeah, they should watch Buffy. Like, the thing is that there was no representation. And a lot of black goths, like I had a couple of friends who were black and goth, and they consistently complained about the fact that they felt like they didn't belong in the community. And it pissed me off. Like I had a really good friend named James that I met during my exchange year. Bro, James was so cool. Oh my God. Like motherfucker had swag on swag. And I don't care. Like all the girls were like, he's out to get the girls. I said, yeah, so and motherfucker can get them. He was super sweet. He was super nice, super welcoming in the community. He wasn't like in a creepy way, but he was just really, he'd listen to what you actually had to say and had some amazing, like really good tips and information about really cool places to hang out. I love James. I lost track with him a couple of years back because I got rid of Facebook, but he was always just a really good friend of mine. And he used to say, you know, it's kind of stupid. You go to these concerts and people look at you like you're some weird ass, you know, unicorn because you're black. And I'm like, yeah, I said, it's really fucked up. And when you meet people like that who say they love a subculture but don't feel at home in it, it's fucked up. It's sad because everybody should fucking feel like they belong. And to be honest, I had some of the most fun experiences with James that I ever could have. Like I'd stay over at his house. Bitch, he took me to church. He took me to church with his mom. He's like, you're going. He's like, it was a Baptist church in Flint, Michigan. He took me with, and I'm just standing there, and they were super sweet and accepting, and they didn't care that I was just some weird white girl standing there. I'm like, hi. It was so much fun. And I just remember being like, yeah, thanks for giving it a chance. I'm like, no problem. I said, I'm happy to be here. I said, you invited me. I'm going to try anything once. So, yeah. It was just really cool. And it was really sad to see him always kind of feel like he was pushed to the outside. And I always, like, if someone I met didn't fuck with James, they weren't my friend for long. That was my little, like, test to see if they were okay. I'd be like, this is my friend James. He's goth. And they'd be like, oh. I'd be like, and you're not being talked to again? Done. That's just how it was, you know? Especially in Michigan. You'd think it'd be better. But, yeah, a lot of these spaces are just so, like, excluding. Same with plus size. Goth community used to be about like skinny, thin bitches. If you weren't thin and skinny, then were you really pretty? Were you really goth enough? If you weren't, you know, anorexic, trigger warning. There's a lot of that within the goth community, like in the early 2000s especially. So yeah, this is just fucked up. People need to like just kind of embrace their differences, embrace their journeys, embrace who they are, and like see what everyone else brings to the table of goth and just mix and enjoy it and just really have fun with it. But instead, we sit and gatekeep about shit and say, that's not this, that's not this. I mean, every community has this, unfortunately. And it really sucks because it fucks the community up. It makes it less fun. Way less fun.
You had to go
Leather and 40
discover
degrees
all of
Celsius
that
is
and
hard, I
discover
bet.
music and style yourself, the same way that these people might be doing if they do buy the collaboration. And even if they're not, who the fuck are we to tell them what they can and cannot do with their own bodies? Like,
Yep.
goddamn, let people explore themselves and find themselves. I don't care how fucking old they are or
Yes.
who they are. Like, let people express themselves however
Thank
the
you,
fuck
sis.
they want to.
Like, I keep seeing so many people be weird and gatekeepy over every little thing that is goth or alternative, and it's like, stop it. Oh my fucking god.
Yep.
I'm gonna put on some blush, by the way. So yeah, I'm gonna use.
Also, the older you get in the goth community, the less time you have for this type of shit. It's like, I got a job, I got shit to do, I have bills to pay, I have taxes to file. Please just stop. Just stop, please.
I don't know what this revolution. Oh my god, whether it's on TikTok or even in my comment section, being such a
Yes.
gatekeepy high school, like toxic ass person when it comes to this community. Like, so many more important things going on in the world that we could be like talking about or having discourse or conversation about, rather than if a normie puts on corpse makeup. Or I'll get people in my comment section that are constantly being like,
That's not goth or
I've been blah blah blah, I've been a witch.
It's always said to assert some weird authority over others to justify gatekeeping/bullying. Yes. And the fact that these people are in a black goths comment section also makes me wonder if they're not trying to, insinuate something else besides something not being goth, because it's, not within the subculture. Are they trying to say something in a subtext about perhaps her not being white enough? So yeah, that's the fucked up stuff.
I've been a goth for this many years, or that's not very goth of you. Just, I'm sorry, but respectfully, shut the fuck up. It feels constantly like you have to prove yourself to people. Like, it literally feels like high school. It
Yes.
feels like you can't sit with us because you don't look goth enough, because you don't appear goth enough. And it's just like, whether it's because you're a person of color.
Okay, there you go. She'll go into it. Or you like to listen to other genres from time to time. You don't fit the ideal skinny goth. You don't have time to DIY your own clothes. Maybe folks want to experiment and be a part of the subculture for a day. Or they I don't know, saw Wednesday and want to be goth, etc. Life is too short to be judgmental and awful to others. Be uplifting and encouraging. Yes, queen! Thank you. Thank you. Summed it up perfectly. Exactly how I fucking feel. This is why I love Kitty. Co is amazing. I love her. Like, it's such fuckery. It's so stupid.
Whether it's because you don't want to do the whole 9 yards with the makeup and you are leaning more in a casual style. Yep. We're missing the point here. We're completely missing.
Like, I don't know. I thought being goth was about music, a lifestyle choice based on beliefs, literature, art, etc. Not this heavy focus on appearance or gatekeeping. Exactly.
Missing the point. I just wish it wasn't a fucking
No one was
thing.
born goth. Everyone started somewhere. Get your heads out of your asses. I love her.
And we have to fight amongst each other about who's the most gothiest goth. Like, this is why I keep to myself. This is exactly why
Girl, same.
I don't partake in
Same.
like meetups, goth meetups,
Yes.
or anything like that. In 2024,
Absolutely.
we're still doing this?
Yep.
Like, is this still a thing? Are y'all not tired yet? You're not tired from putting in all the energy and gatekeeping? You want to be a part of this subculture for a week? Go for it. Go for it. Who am I to tell you no? I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I'm doing next. I kind of tend to like go for more of a thinner, like
She's trying to go to I think that's kind of,
90s
she
eyebrow,
goes a
'cause that's
little
just
bit
the
further, and then
look
after
I
that
like.
she's done.
Don't be that person that's gonna be like, no, you're not goth enough, or no, not the normies. Don't let the normies get a hold of it. I don't know. What do y'all think down below? Like, leave me a comment on how you feel about it, because to me, I feel like that kind of like attitude has only led into like gatekeeping the subculture so much, where it's like, oh, you can't join if you're black, you can't join if you're a person of color, and it's like
Yep.
other people being kind of like feeling like they can't be goth or can't
I know it's nothing new. I feel like I've just experienced it tenfold ever since making my YouTube channel and seeing more gatekeeping after the pandemic. Yep.
experience this subculture because of this gatekeepy agenda that's being pushed on anyone and everyone.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you just joined or if you've been a part of it for as long as you can fucking remember.
She's so pretty.
I digress. Just kind of like an all-over pencil. My natural eyebrows are fairly thin enough, so I
she's
just kind
got
of draw
amazing
off of
shape.
those, but I do arch
Really
them
good.
up more. This one's the Skinny Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner Breakup.
The Animal Crossing music is making a fucking comeback on YouTube. Every motherfucker's got it in their video now. It's coming back around. So I think the rest of what she does is pretty much just makeup and lips. Yep, that was her little rant. That's why I said it's kind of chopped together here. Like, as much as I'd love to watch Kitty put on her makeup, she looks amazing. We'll go to the end, so I'll give you guys like the finished product since she's doing her stuff. But we're gonna go to another video after this. We'll let Kitty show you her lovely makeup.
Also, if you haven't
She
done
did the
so
little
yet,
lashes.
please subscribe to the channel
Light Queen.
so you're part of our little spooky community, and you're also here for the next video. If you'd like to see more of me, I will leave my socials up on the screen and down below in the description box. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yay. So that was her opinion on it. Now we're gonna go to a little bit of a different take, which I'm not exactly a fan of this person. I don't know. There's something about her that rubs me a bit the wrong way. And it's the fact that her follower list had no black creators in it. But hey, that's just me. That's just me. I did check her TikTok and really looked through and kind of try and see like who she follows. And have I seen this guy? Is that guy on Twitter who summons the woman over after she asks him something about like what his favorite song is? Zenodo, tell me if I'm right, because I follow him, I think. Quasi Cow. Yes, that is him. I have seen him. That motherfucker's got Riz. He is very charismatic. We'll have to show everybody him because he is very, very, very interesting. He's a very interesting dude. Dude. Yeah, this motherfucker right here.
Question. Excuse
The volume's all the way up, yeah.
me. Can I ask you a question? Is there a song that keeps a memory of love alive forever?
Yes.
What is it?
Cupid's Arrow by Quasi Ko.
Cupid's Arrow by Quasi Ko.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right, you too.
I was like, you ain't going nowhere.
Can I ask?
So yeah, he's everywhere. He's blowing up right now. But yeah, yes, I follow him. Yeah, his song on Spotify, he's really good. There's a lot of amazing black goth bands. So like, it's not that hard to fucking find them. Seriously, it's just the fact that people always are like, yeah, let's just recommend the same shit over and over again. It's like, but yeah, okay. This one's about all goths are gatekeepers, reacting to the new TikTok trend, hating on goths. So this is her take, saying that gatekeeping's basically okay from her side. And yeah, we're gonna see the other side. So I'll give Zenodo the link so he doesn't have to go dig up her channel. There you go, bub. So yeah, let's see what she has to say. She has shit audio as well.
If you are new here, my name is Alyssa Rain, and today's topic we're going to be talking about the goth gatekeeping thing that's been going on. I've been seeing it a lot on TikTok of people being upset over goths saying that, like, hey, if you don't listen to the music, then you're not goth, and everyone being upset of, like, oh, how dare you tell us how to dress? Like, you're gatekeeping goth. So I would like to talk about that, but for starters, little introduction of kind of what goth is. Goth is a music-based subculture that started in the 1980s. Since it is a
You notice how she has to read that from her computer screen because she's such a goth and so well informed. Bro, I'm gonna be so dirty. I'm gonna be so dirty because I don't like her vibes already. Her vibes are fucked to me already. Like, she's like, everybody's just kind of like this thing and it's like, oh, this is the energy I don't like. She's that type of goth girl to me. These ones get me. I get this vibe off from her. I don't know what it is, and it's not fair of me because maybe she's not that type of person. Too goddamn judgmental.
music-based
So girl, stop.
subculture. If you do not listen to the music, you are not goth. you do not have to strictly listen to goth music in order to be goth. It's like the same concept of being a metalhead. Like if you went up to someone...
So is there like a subscription service that you have to like subscribe to at least one goth band and prove with like a membership card, sis? That someone rolls up and goes, excuse me, what's your goth band of choice since you're wearing those goth clothes? Are you sure that you're goth enough? Please let me see your goth card, please. Come on. You're a goth card carrying member of the goth community. Please put it out on the table. We need to see it. Whoa, you listen. Do you listen to The Cure? Do you listen to Depeche Mode? Maybe some Sisters of Mercy? How about some Skeleton Children? London After Midnight? No. Susie and the Banshees, maybe? What about, I don't know. Some Rosetta Stone? Some Alien Sex Fiend? No. Dead Can Dance? No. Oh, I don't know. You know what the funny part is? Most of these motherfuckers don't know a lot of the bands I literally just named you. They don't fucking know them. Virgin Prunes. These bitches wouldn't be able to name them. Fucking like Anna and Beneath the Waves. A lot of these, like, they don't know them. Christian Death can go suck a dick because they literally are a terrible band. And if anyone names Christian Death, remind them that they have a song where they say the N-word in it. There's no reason for a white goth band to be saying that word. Fuck them. No. Just no. Yes, they're fascist as fuck. People, whenever someone says I like Christian Death, I'm like, and we're done. Bye. But yeah, it's just, it's a very irritating situation, all of this, because everyone, a lot of these people know what it feels like to be excluded from things, or to be made fun of for being a little bit different, or to just kind of feel like they're not really part of a group. Then you do this shit and exclude people, and it's just fucked. So yeah, let's hear what else is gonna come out of her fucking mouth. Ugh,
they were like, oh yeah, I'm a metalhead, and they looked like the stereotypical like metalhead aesthetic, but they didn't know a single metal song. They didn't listen to metal at all. Like,
name 3 metal songs. Name 3 metal songs. That's like those motherfuckers who walked up if you're wearing that band t-shirt and they're like, oh, you're wearing a Metallica shirt. Name 3 albums from Metallica. Name 3 songs from Metallica. Come on. Name 3 songs from Metallica. One that isn't Enter Sandman. Or you gotta name it. Come on, let's do it. Come on, let's do it. Name 3 fucking songs. And you're like, I like this shirt and I'm not good with remembering shit. Get the fuck out of my face. Like, I know a lot of, I love Depeche Mode. Do you honestly think I can name all of Depeche Mode's albums? No, I can barely remember half the songs. Depeche Mode has a lot of fucking albums and I'm a forgetful bitch. You put me on the spot like that, I'll be like, I don't fucking know. Get out of my face. Like, my favorite Depeche Mode album, Ultra. It's not like Violator or anything like that. My favorite Depeche Mode album is Ultra because it's dark and broody and I love it. Sister of Night, shit like that. Love Thieves. I love those songs. There you go. There's 2 fucking Depeche Mode songs. And name some from Violator. How about You Suck a Dick? Violator's a great album as well. Leave me the fuck alone. This is the shit people do. Like, just because you can memorize shit and know, like, an album from a band does not make you superior to anyone else in the goddamn subculture. Like, fucking dial it back, girl.
Call that person a poser, and it's the same as goth music.
By naming every other song in the universe.
Music, then you cannot
How tall is the
call
drummer?
yourself a goth. However, you can dress however you want. That's not what we're saying. You just cannot call yourself goth if you don't listen to the music. And if someone does appear to look goth, the common stereotypical goth, but they don't listen to the music, they aren't goth, they just have a gothic style. You can dress however you want. You can dress gothic and not be goth, and that's fine. Like, no one's telling you
my
what
piss
you
face
can
on.
and
I'm
can't
not happy.
wear. We're just saying that you cannot call yourself a goth unless you listen to the goth music. But just to give a little start on some of my...
Sis can't even fucking name these bands without reading a list herself. Ooh, see, I told you we'd have a juxtaposition here. We'd have one person who's very, like, welcoming and accepting of everyone, and then this one. I watched this a little bit earlier, and I really tried to get on board with this, and the more that she talked, the more it pissed me off. Ooh. Yeah, this is my mad face. I don't put this one on very often. She's mad. She's mad and very just irritated by all this. Ugh.
Favorite goth artist, just
Staying
in
on
case
for a
anyone
while.
is looking to get into goth music. These are also probably the most popular ones out of them all. I just kind of quickly went through my playlist and said the ones that I thought that would be most
It's
like beginner friendly. But we have Susie and the Banshees. We have Sisters of Mercy, Lebanon Hanover, Christian Death.
Ah! There it was. She fucking named Christian Death. There it is. There it fucking is. There it is. There it is. Oh my god, she named Christian Death. I didn't even watch this part. I glazed over this part. Okay, she literally just named like every like there's a saying in German like no Tundad. Like it's just like a very cookie cutter like swath of cookie cutter goth bands that every dipshit. Yes. Like I knew I had a vibe about her. Girl, do you know anything about Christian Death? Like, seriously. Oh my god. Who else are you gonna name?
Paralyzed Age.
Oh.
London After Midnight.
Of course you named
The
London
Cure,
After Midnight.
Joy Division. Bauhaus.
Girl, get any more basic bands? Oh my god, she's literally naming like, oh my god, the pop music of fucking goth.
Depeche Mode. And She Wants Revenge. And if I mispronounce any of those, I apologize.
She Wants Revenge, is it really goth? There, no one like there is, but like people are like, oh, She Wants Revenge is a goth. Girl, you're so fucking stupid.
I don't know how many times I have to say this, but apparently people online just don't understand what I'm trying to say here. But
because you're fucking dumb.
Is a music-based subculture.
So you don't even understand it. We are 2 minutes and 34 seconds into this fucking video, and I have paused multiple times, and I have my pissed face on. This is not gonna go well. This is not gonna go well for her. I'm not gatekeeping. No, I'm kicking gatekeepers away from the gate and pretty much unlocking the door and saying, get the fuck away from the door. That's what I'm doing. I'm de-gatekeeping. I'm going, move the fuck away from the door, let motherfuckers in. Oh my god. Do you see what I mean? This is what infuriates the shit out of me. It's just the fact that she's going, yeah, you know what you're talking about. This is literally exactly the person that Kitty Co was talking about in the previous video. This right here is exactly what she was talking about. 100%. You can see it in absolute action. Exactly what she's talking about.
So you can be goth and not appear gothic, and you can also appear gothic and not be goth. There's a lot of people who are like would consider themselves goth, and they just look like the average person, or maybe they just only dress a little alternative or something. But they.
Girl, did you do any research for this? One could argue that you're more alternative than goth. Let's be fucking real here. All you've got is a winged liner, some piercings and some black lipstick, and some lopsided eyebrows, I might add. Those are not sisters. Those are distant cousins. You have some tattoos. That doesn't make you goth. Goths don't all have tattoos. You are like painting a very broad brush over something right now. Oh, the cat ears. She's very... Oh, I'm gonna say the cursed term. I'm gonna say it. E-girl. Oh, I said it. Someone could call you an e-girl. You've got cat ears on. Oh, shit. You could be an e-girl. Oh, you're an e-girl. We can call you an e-girl. Look, she's got the Jack Skellington shit behind her. Bro, she's so basic. Oh, yeah, you want to be like this. No, I'm gonna eat you up, girl. I'm gonna eat you up. We're gonna eat your ass for breakfast. Too far? No, I'm sorry. What's the matter? You like fucking e-girls, Squirrel Tempura? Oh,
they are still considered goth if they listen to the music. I do want to do a video in the future about different goth styles and possibly like one on the background of goth. For this video, I would like to talk about the trend of just TikTokers saying that goths are gatekeeping fashion, which is not the case. In fact, I have even posted a video before on TikTok and
get in, loser. We're going to Hot Topic. Oh God.
Got to firsthand see people calling me a gatekeeper.
Kick her while she's down.
Yeah, we can get into a few videos that are on TikTok that
Careful
kind
now.
of
Don't overdo it. You don't want to overheat your brain.
Here. From the goth community.
No, Garfield, the cable's out.
What's wrong with this thing?
Did you hear what I said? The cable's out.
Okay.
Maybe it needs new batteries.
Garfield.
Okay, I got a problem with Mammy as well. She can be a little stupid too. She needs to chill sometimes. There's a lot of people in the goth community who aren't super big fans of some of the shit she does as well. Let's be real.
Listen to me carefully. The cable is out.
The cable?
So yeah, that just kind of explain what I did. I don't know why it's that deep to so many people.
Oh my God, Doofington, yes, she does. She acts like she's not like other goths. She acts like she's like this like old soul and she's like 20. or 21. She's like, I'm gonna help all the baby bats. I'm like, sis, you're 21. You are a fucking baby bat as well. Chill the fuck out. Like, seriously. Yeah, the piss face is staying on for this whole video. Yeah, you get evil smiles only. Trying to like bust out of the anger. It's not gonna happen though. We're pissed. We're pissed.
About like why people want to just label themselves goth so bad, but they're also like,
oh my god,
oh well, why do you have to label everything so much? And then they're also over here.
Now, reminder, kids, this is why you make. Oh, Percifer's gonna be judgmental as well now too. And why did the dice roll sound? Oh, my shit's fucked. The fact that it just played a dice roll sound when Percifer sat on my head. Oh, we gotta check some shit out. My streamer bot disconnected from my OBS yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I reconnected it, and I should have gone through every single fucking thing and double checked. Although the dice worked yesterday. Well, Percifer, you're a dice roll now. Stop, homie. This is why you make layouts, kids. You make a fucking overview of what you're saying, because this is what happens. Then you ramble. I'm live reacting to this, so that's part of streaming. I can't make a layout of this. This is just rambling. She's not making a lot of cohesive sense. There's a guy in town I live with who's got him in his 50s, and sometimes we take the same bus, and he always teaches me so much about the scene when he was younger. See, that is a proper goth elder. It's someone who's telling you about their experiences. They're handing down goth culture and goth experiences in the subculture when they were younger. That's what you're supposed to do, not this gatekeepy bullshit that she's doing right now. So Percifer's going to be just as judgmental now because I have an angry face, so he's going to be angry. So he's joining the pissed off party.
Like, oh, you're gatekeeping because you're saying that you have to be the specific thing to have this label, God, and it's sis, like, please. Sometimes you just can't win. This one does have copyright music.
Sometimes so you don't have... I'm going to not do it. I'm not going to say she's being goofy.
But yeah, like...
You notice how she's very specifically picking white, thin, pretty, like white, thin, pale creators as well for her, like, proof of like why goth is a music-based subculture as well. Yeah, you should teach it, not test it. Exactly. He said Susie was a real bitch behind the scenes. Yes, everybody knows that one. She was a control freak, Susie. You saw Peter Steele making out with a woman backstage once. Peter Steele made out with everything that had legs and boobs. And I may have seen that Playgirl magazine once from a friend in America, and holy shit, bro was packing. I mean, let's continue. Don't say you're goth. Bitch, read the shit out loud. Don't say you're goth if you're just into alternative fashion. Goth is so much more than just the part. Educate yourself. Yes. I'm sorry. Can't help it. That's your daily goon, Peter Steele.
But yeah, like, even despite music, like, music is obviously, like, the main part of the subculture.
Take a shot every time she says like.
There are a lot of other things about the subculture, which I would like to make a video in the future upon it. Yeah, everyone, especially with the goth girl trend, like the goth girlfriend trend going around right now, everyone is very obsessed with the gothic look. It's very weird because, like, as a kid, like, cool. I was emo.
No, let's not insult Elvira like that. Elvira is a valley goth. This isn't valley goth. This is vapid goth. This is someone who themselves was probably attracted to the look of goth and not the music first. I can tell. She perfected her image. She liked being a goth. She probably likes minimal goth bands. Put my money on it. Because the fact that she had to read them off a fucking list proves to me that sis is not really that into goth music, and she's preaching the goth subculture. And I bet you the goth music she likes is barely goth. Barely. Yeah, Valley Goth is what fucking Elvira is. Elvira's Valley Goth. Yeah. Totally. She did like a Valley character and she turned it into Elvira. So yeah. But yeah, let's see what else you've got to say here.
And goth and
by the
things.
Way.
And like, I just got absolutely like
slipped.
Destroyed in middle school for just like appearing like with the darker aesthetic. And now it's trending, and it's
and you're gatekeeping it because
really
you went
weird,
through
like, shock to me, because I'm out of high school, like, I can finally be myself now, and then all of a sudden there was this flood of people coming in that were like, oh my god, the amount of people that
this bitch started out as an e-girl before she went full goth. I fucking guarantee you. She looks like she listens to Machine Gun Kelly and Corpse Husband. Yes, she does. See, we're kind of being gatekeeping right now by reading her. But I'm only doing it because she's being so vapid and unfair with her opinions. If you're going to put your shit out there and you're going to say stuff like this, I'm going to come for you, bitch. I will call you out on your shit and say you have no right saying any of that shit about everyone else when you are no better or we're no better in the beginning. This is the thing. The moment you start criticizing others and saying, no, you can't, or no, not this, it's the moment you open yourself up to criticism yourself. I'm sorry. That's my game. That's how I play it. You want to criticize others? You can play that fucking game, bitch. Let's go.
That I see with, like, in their bios, they have, like, I love goth girls, or I want a goth girl. Don't hit me up unless you're a goth girl. It's so...
No shame, but she also has an OnlyFans. So she definitely profits off of that goth girl image. That's all I'm going to say, because I did look at her profile and stuff. So, interesting. Very interesting. You know, I know that you're telling people all this goth stuff, but you are yourself profiting off of that image. So, yeah. Oh, Zenodo. It's this big ass Zenodo. Calm down.
It's so weird and just, like, shocking to me. Of course, I am grateful for it because it did give me a lot of views and I got a wider audience because of it, which I am very grateful for. It's just very strange that out of, like, anything, like, as a kid, I never thought that because I was goth, it was gonna get me anywhere. It was more like, in my head, I was like, oh, I have to, if I want to get out there, I have to be a really good musician or really good at singing or be really talented at something. And, like, I just showed my face and all of a sudden it was like everyone in my DMs. But
I'm not gonna say anything else. I ain't gonna say shit. I showed my face and then, oh my god, everybody wanted to talk to me all of a sudden. Oh, girl, please. Nobody's calling you out for being a goth bimbo. No one's calling you out for, like, milking the goth girl image to make money. Why can you not let other motherfuckers just be? Why are you doing this? Do you want people to do that to you? I doubt it. Like, what the fuck is this even? Like, ew.
I don't want you guys to think that I'm just, like, complaining about that. I do appreciate the
School
fact that
tempura,
I
no
did.
middle school is in your whole last life. High school is, duh. Come on. Get with the program. Brah.
Get a I did reach a wide audience because of it.
We know.
It's a really weird thing because I never thought that this would ever
She
happen.
has no plan what she's doing with this video.
This one also
You don't have to listen to goth music to be
copyright
goth.
music.
Stop gatekeeping.
But basically,
than
in
the
the
tiny
video,
violin.
it was
Bitch,
just
fuck you.
a sad song, and then of course there's the
Tiny violin?
sad violin playing.
There
in the
you go.
music, and
You
it's
found
just
it. Good girl.
like, you know, play the tiny violin.
Oh, boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
But yeah, it's definitely becoming a very common thing of people getting upset with, like, real goths for, like...
Real goths. Pray do tell what a real goth is. Does it mean you have to be like 100% grass-fed goth on the fields? On the Nephilim fields you graze until you are called to your master's bidding to be a goth? Upon the bloody fields, you receive your goth card, and you get your goth cup from which you drink because you are of goth, and you continue to judge others from your high throne that is awarded to you for being goth. What the fuck does this mean? What the fuck does this mean? What the fuck does this mean? What does it mean? A true goth? Bitch, what? Define a true goth then, please. And don't you fucking say you have to listen to the gothic music. If you say that one more time, I'm ripping your goddamn cat ears off your fucking headset. Ma'am, make sense. You are just justifying gatekeeping with, they're not pretty enough like me. Everybody wanted to talk to me when I showed my face and, like, I listened to the music. God damn it, stop petting the fucking cat. Bro, my shit is so fucked. God damn it, I'm like bragging here. You're like, oh, look at I set all my stuff up. And it's like, you like being a smug bitch? You like telling people you got your shit together? Watch this. God damn it. It's just so frustrating. That's why I said this is the angle we're getting. We're getting the juxtaposition here of two different worlds. One of a black goth and one of a white, very popular goth who rides on her, basically her appearance. And that's it. trying to tell others that they can't ride on their like appearances and have to like the music and that's it in order to belong to her community, which for some reason she seems to think she has like all the ideas of like I get the feeling like she has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. And I get the feeling that this content's being made just to pull more people to her YouTube site from her TikTok. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know. I don't feel like this is anything.
The community, which when I think of like goths gatekeeping, it's like, oh, you don't look goth enough, so like you can't be goth, or like, you know, the whole thing of
come on,
goths.
Lass dich feiern und spare so richtig.
You know what's funny? I have literally a ad blocker on and this fucker's starting to get through it. Fuck you.
Hello everyone,
you and your
welcome back
mid-roll
into today's
bitch.
myself now, and then also I'm grateful for it, because if I would...
fucking YouTube's figuring out the goddamn ad blockers. Ugh, where were you at?
About that, I do appreciate the fact that I did get a play in the video. When I think of SMB saying what goth is, gatekeeping
Girl, you don't...
as just saying what goth is.
Oh my god, she's so fucking...
It's super weird like seeing it now, because like as a kid I dealt with the elitist goths who were like, oh, you're a baby bat, like you have to figure this out on your own.
Okay, so now you're one of them and you're just being a bitch as well. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, that it's getting really annoying with the whole ad shit. I have an account by YouTube Red, but I'm not using that shit for streaming. Fuck that. Oh, I love that she herself experienced this exclusion of like, you're a baby bat, you have to figure it out. It's like, why are you doing this now then? Like, what are you fucking doing? I mean, girl, what?
Like, you have to find your own music, you have to figure it out. I'm not gonna tell you how to be goth, but all I know is that you're a poser.
9/11 was bad.
I agree with that.
9/11.
What are these fucking TikToks?
9/11.
I think you guys get my point.
No, not really.
By now, of what goth is.
Oh my god. See, this is like a good chunk of the goth like gatekeeping community. Yes, your ears got assaulted. That was a horrible fucking audio track. My god, girl. No matter, she can only do TikTok, guys. You gotta be a bit understanding. She's not good at this.
And I always appreciate it when baby bats come into my comments or things like that and ask for music recommendations. And I also have a lot of baby bats that come in and they're like, well, I'm not allowed to wear eyeliner and stuff like that, so like I don't feel like I'm goth enough. What I'm gonna say to that is, when I think of being goth, it's like a big part of it is not fitting in. So if, of course, I know it like sucks if like the goths aren't accepting you in because you don't look goth enough, but those goths are...
I'm trying to be really fair. I'm trying to be so fair and not judgmental. But I feel like a potato could explain this better right now. She didn't get any thoughts together and she's just spewing bullshit about why you have to listen to the music. Why? What's the music? What type of things would you recommend? Like, why does it have to be the music? What if they listen to the music only a little bit? Like, what does it matter? Why are you excluding them? If they want to be in the scene, they may not love the music, but they don't mind it and just want to be there to like enjoy the subculture. Like, what the fuck? I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice. Don't be a bitch, Sakura. That's something I do too much.
Assholes, and you should stay away from them because they
gatekeeping.
suck.
I'm just stating
you are a baby
opinion.
bat, you are a goth, you do whatever you want as long as you listen to the music. Like,
do whatever you want. But you gotta listen to the music.
Enough. You
do whatever you want. You gotta listen to the music. She heard her. You can do whatever you want. But
you don't have to
if you don't listen to the music, fuck
even
you.
People online will tell me that I'm not goth enough.
No, you're not.
Because I don't
what if someone said that to you?
Trad goth, tease my hair out, wear corsets all the time. People have their preferences on what they want. I personally am not a fan of the way trad goth makeup looks on me. I like my makeup style. I like the vampire goth aesthetic where it's just like, the long, straight, drapey, gothy hair. I like to wear like very like drapey, romantic goth looking clothes.
Goth drapey.
Of course, I don't do that all the time because like I live in the middle of Wisconsin. There's not really many appropriate places.
Okay, that explains why a potato could do this better. I'm sorry, you're from Wisconsin.
But yeah, I would like to make
fault.
more videos about the gothic topics and stuff. I just haven't had time to like put a bunch of things together. I would like to do more research on it because, of course, I don't just have every single moment in.
This is not a live video. This is a fucking YouTube video. You edited this. You edited this, girl. You could have done that. Why didn't you do that in the first place? That's kind of what's irritating me about this. Goes on a tangent about gatekeeping, has no information whatsoever for you. But be goth. Listen to the music. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. Like, exactly. Like, why did she not... Sweetie, just because your agency says you should get on YouTube, please. Yeah, you heard Bowie. My partner's taking him outside. That's why. It's like 11:20. Partner needs a certain amount of sleep or they don't function because they're a nerd. Brain is fried from work all day. So yes. But, I mean, I'm not saying she's dumb. I'm just saying that if you're going to state things like this and try to tell people like how they have to act or, you know, what's acceptable within the community, make it at least an explanation that makes sense and isn't just a ramble of like, oh my God, like people, when they saw my face, they liked me when I was a baby bat, like everybody made fun of me and like the older goths wouldn't like let me, like they told me you gotta figure it out on your own and like just go at it, baby bat, and like, you know, I had to figure that stuff out on my own. Is that accurate? Like she had a chance to take a platform that she says she's very thankful for and that she's glad she has. And she could really use to inform these, you know, young goths, a lot of them female, mind you, of how like to protect themselves within the community, how to, you know, be welcoming in the community, how to be a part of it, how to find like cool things, how to find cool places to hang out, or like how to find a community within TikTok, or how to find really accepting friends, or, you know, music suggestions. No, instead we've got to remind people that if someone doesn't listen to the music, don't fucking talk to them. They're a pariah. Get them out. Out. Get out, I say. You don't listen to the music. Etc. Like, this is the vibes I get from this. She's basically saying her older siblings' friends didn't want to play with her, so now she wants to take away the toys of the kids that want to play with her. Yes. And that's not okay. And then calling all of TikTok out. Like, saying, like, you guys are just, you know, I'm getting the, like, you're just jealous because we're pretty and skinny vibes. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. Like, you're just jealous. Oh my God, like, you're just jealous of us. Oh my God, like, just say you're jealous. Just say you're jealous. Oh my God, like, oh, come on. Like, just listen to the music. Say you're jealous, girl. You know, it's just, yeah, there's no niceness here. You're excluding. And that's the problem. Like, a lot of goth TikTok agrees with this. Like, yeah, just listen to the music. Just listen to the music. We watched some Maddie Danger. Even Maddie Danger said, and I quote, "You don't need to listen to the music. If you like the subculture and you just want to hang around it, go for it. Do your thing." Maddie's a great creator as well. Maddie also goes off on the fact that a lot of people don't allow a lot of people of a certain color into the goth community because they think it doesn't fit the aesthetic. So there's that. There's all kinds of shit. And this is just like, I feel bad for dragging this girl because, you know, maybe I think she's like 21. She herself is quite young. And I get the feeling that maybe she really kind of found goth even more through TikTok during the pandemic and kind of saw some of these toxic creators. Like, there's a couple of creators out there that I am not big fans of, Angela being one of them. I've talked about Angela Benedict. She does push a lot of this gatekeeping stuff, and she's an elder goth. Oh, Doofington, you know this bitch too. Yes. Angela Benedict is all about looking pretty. She's an alternative model. And she basically, don't mind me, I'm just like rubbing my eye. She basically, I'm probably going to have to hate watch her. I hate doing this. I don't want to give this bitch like room on my channel, but you need to know kind of like the vibe that a lot of the goth community has. This is the creator that a lot of people are getting recommended to them when they're getting into the goth community, when they're finding their way in and they're saying, well, you need to do these things. You need to do this. You need to understand that we went through this. And it's like, share your goth stories and share your history, but don't make it feel like they have to follow exactly in the footsteps you took. That's the thing. TikTok is where everything goes to die. Yes, yes, yes. Give people the lore. So what I'll do is while the ad break is running, I'll look her up on my other browser here and dig her up and see like where I can find her. Oh God, I feel dirty typing her name in. Ugh. There's the dumb bitch right there, Angela Benedict. So, which is a perfect one to show just how vapid Angela is. Oh, Angela, what I'm going through. Oh God, okay, I'm not gonna make fun of that one. That's a reproduction problem. Answer your question. Goth bullying, my experience to Porter Thrift. Like, she's giving good like suggestions, but the problem is the fact that you're too old for this. Did someone die, or are we going through a midlife goth phase? Here we go. Oh, let's go with this one where she's judging old goths. Like, are you judging old goths?
Everybody,
sis?
welcome.
Yeah. I filmed and edited this video while I had the flu after my fever. No one gives a shit about your fever dreams. Activity has taught me a valuable lesson. When you have a fever, you have zero understanding of lighting and color. Oh my God, she's talking about lighting and color balance. Sis, I fucking can't stand you. I swear. Listen, I sound like I'm being mean, but I've spent years dodging this creator on fucking like YouTube, and I just really don't like the vibe of this like elitist pretty girl shit. I don't like this. It's like the mean goth girls, and I don't like that. Like, I've been through that. I'm a very tall bitch, and because I'm tall, I'm not exactly tiny. I am an Amazon. Like, I got thick thighs. I don't fit in a lot of the shit for goth girls that are teeny tiny. Like, thank goodness the goth trend has gone more towards like large, like XXL and like things like that. Like, I need that because I got thighs. I'm tall. Like, I'm not a fucking stick. And what happens is when you go into these communities, people are like, you're not thin enough. The thick goth girls have finally like made a have entered the scene finally. The people see you have curves. You're not a fucking stick. A lot of them were sticks in the beginning, and a lot of these girls were always very like exclusionary of you because, you know, they thought their shit didn't stink and that they were the Morticia Adams of the dance floor and we were the best. And that's not okay. Like, I guess I can say I do have resentment in that way. I'm older now and I'm kind of like over it. I just don't like seeing people bringing this shit to younger kids. Like, bringing and regurgitating the same old bullshit to young baby bats, making them self-conscious, making them a lot of eating disorders within the goth community. Jesus fucking Christ. And just ruining some of these girls' like opinions of the subculture or thinking that they can't be in it because they're not good enough. I don't like it. You remember being on Tumblr and being told I can't be goth because you couldn't see my hip bone? Yes! Shit like that is so fucked up. All right, let's get this cunt out here. Thank you, Oral-B, for the toothbrush commercial. We don't want to get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here, Shopify.
Everybody.
There we go. Bro, are we even working anymore, blockers? Like, seriously, you've just completely been bypassed now, haven't you? Fuck you, YouTube. Okay, this is Angela Benedict. As you can tell, Angela is very much about looks. She blows the shit out of her camera. She's like, a color balance. No, Angela does it on purpose to make herself look younger. Angela's like 45. So, yes, real goths have used Colgate, yeah. So, that's the thing. Like, Angela is very much about how she looks, and that's it. You get the vibe.
Welcome back to my channel. Please bear with me. I have the flu. If
Why are you filming?
Of being uncertain or unsure, because it's almost a type of imposter syndrome where they almost feel like guilty. But I had a hiatus, about a 4-year hiatus.
So you
from
stopped being
goth.
a coach.
And just like everybody else that I've spoken to, it wasn't for great reasons.
There you go, older goths. I'm not watching her whole video. We're not watching this whole fucking thing.
And I'm finally getting involved. And it's a lot of people who were in families that were very religious and very much
Angela, I can't.
in the
I may
goth
have to find a
subculture,
different
but
video from her.
if
She's
you're
fucking, she even said in her goddamn description that she's raving. All right, Angela, what the fuck have you gotten? You're stupid. Oh God, this was what it was like to be goth. And yes, this one. Like, although I have a feeling she's probably got like a lot of copyright, but you know, we don't even need to listen to Angela talk. Yeah. Let's look at just some of her thumbnails. That's the best to do. Yeah. That's a happy middle point. So we've got, wait, what? How do they come up with this stuff? Not goth enough for the internet, but too goth for everyone else? This needs to stop. You're being lied to about goth girls. We do want to be your BTGG. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Black goths have always been part of the goth community. Oh, you remembered this, did you, Angela? Like 3 years ago. about 5 ago when people were calling you out for it. It's hard to be goth now. Do goths only date other goths? How did this become such a problem? Like, she has this very weird, oh my god, she's wearing a Switchblade Symphony shirt. Who says you're not goth enough? Yeah, so she's basically riding these trends now of trying to act like, no, you're goth enough, I accept you. But her shit used to not always be like this. Like, it's always been about how to look, how to be like 90s goth hair. That's not 90s goth hair, by the way. That's bullshit. Like, she thinks she's the authority. And the problem is people like her are very much so the ones that are like, you have to be this way. You have to do this. She cultivated this group of baby bats that think that this is how they need to be. She's not super popular, but everyone knows who Angela is and what her takes are on things. And the thing is like, as you can see by a lot of the thumbnails, Angela is very much so about what people think of her because her bread and butter is her face. She is an alternative model. So she is also an esthetician. So she does like skin, all that type of stuff. So she has to make money off of her face. But yeah, and we're not hate watching. We're just hate browsing. I'm not going to give her the views. I don't want to do that. So yeah, these are the type of people that formed, and we go back to here, these type of goths. Because these are the goths that found her content during the pandemic and ate it up. They just called you racist, Automod. Oh no. I don't see anything. It didn't catch you. Oh, it didn't let you post it. Okay. I know. The Chinese. Okay, yeah. Oh god. Automod, like, it has to be trained still. It needs to be whacked a few times and then it'll get to where it needs to be. But we can take them. Yeah. The thing is the fact that people like Angela cultivated this like weird pretty girl goth community. Like, I'm not judging here when I say she has an OnlyFans and she benefits from her goth image. But yet, in the same breath, she'll talk other people down who aren't goth enough because they don't listen to the music because it's a music-based subculture. That's bullshit. We learned that in another video from the previous creator we watched, like not Kitty, but the one before RA. She basically was talking about how goth is both a clothing subculture and a music subculture. They're both. You can be in them. And saying you can't call yourself goth unless you listen to the music is fucked up. Because bitch didn't coin the term goth. Technically, the Germans did. Get fucked. Get fucked. Just saying. Just saying. The Germans were the original goths. Get fucked. Ha! I'm joking. I don't give a fuck. Oh, I snorted. Oh, but yeah, like, those are the original goths. No one can be the original goth. Like, seriously, it's like, chill. And this shit right here cultivates a disgusting, like, very exclusive community, as I've said, like, probably about 10 times. And this is what tickles my titties and gets me all pissed off, is this type of shit. Like, she doesn't know what she's even fucking talking about.
History at
like,
the top of
you
my
have
head.
a little taste for those.
Call me a
who didn't
poser
hear.
if you want. I would like to put together, like, a good, like...
Bitch said poser, first of all. Anyone who says poser needs to, like, get the fuck out. Who even uses that word anymore? What are the 90s goths back? Like the 90s mall goths back? Like, oh my god, you're a poser. You're a poser. You're such a poser. Who fucking says that? When is the last time anybody in chat fucking said poser? When? When? They didn't. It is. It's just the fucking, like, it's this mall goth shit. Like, the words come back up with the mall goth trend coming back. People's like, oh my god, you're such a poser. It is a term that has stayed alive within the goth community for a long time. I got fucking called a poser. I did. I got featured in a magazine once in Michigan. And I had like a full 3-page article done about me because it was like a local magazine. They were looking at people within the goth community. You will never see it because fuck no, you're not seeing my baby bat chubby face when I was a goth. Fuck no. Ain't happening. It's hidden in my mother's basement somewhere probably. So the thing is, I remember having that happen during my exchange year. And I got phone calls to a number that was unlisted, but belonged to my biological brother. And people who knew him knew the number. So these motherfuckers who called knew me. They knew me. And they called me a poser. They left messages on the answering machine. Yes, answering machine. I'm sorry, I'm over 30. Give me a fucking break, okay? Chill. And they were like, oh my god, you're not goth enough. You just, like, you're such a fucking poser. You're such a fucking poser. We should have been in that. You're such a poser. And I'm like, first of all, you know this fucking number. So, bitch, what? I know who you are. And don't try and act like you don't sound like how you think you sound. And they like called me that. The thing is, I was very much so a loner goth. Like I didn't have a huge friend circle during that time. I found like a lot of friends outside of that school. I actually found a lot more friends in like the Flint local scene and stuff like that. Like the local, which was like pretty much like where a lot of bands and like smaller bands would perform. And that was amazing. Like it's a third space that's now dead, probably. I haven't looked up the Flint local in a long time. Wouldn't be surprised if it's gone. Everything fucking Flint's gone now. But we used to go hang out there, and there were really amazing nights where like you'd have bands or like local bands that would play. Like Chiodas started there and stuff like that. So you'd go there and you'd hang out, and I had more friends there from different schools, like from Grand Blanc and different areas around there. I had like a couple friends, like one of my good friends was literally named Tiffany from Grand Blanc. So yeah, like I knew her and like a bunch of other people I met through them and had like a lot of fun. And what would happen is you'd hang out there and then you'd go to school the next day, and there'd be like all the like uppity, you know, alternative. They were not goth. They were fucking alternative grunge kiddies. Like they were in that like emo grunge group, and they'd be like, oh, look at you, Sakura. You're not a goth. You're not real. But get this. I was very creative. I worked in a fabric store part-time, like, you know, to earn a little bit of money. So I always had like scraps of fabric and shit. I made my own clothes, bitch. I made my shit. I'm lucky that my mother's a master seamstress. She is very good at what she does. She had a bunch of sewing machines. Whenever I wanted to make something, be like, hey, yo, ma, help me out. And first she was like, God, no, you're not wearing that. And then she was like, fine, whatever, just get good grades. I'm like, there you go, bitch, there's all A's. Where's the sewing machine at? So I got to make my own stuff. And what I did is I started taking like stockings, because I couldn't find any good shirts. So I would cut stockings and put elastic in them and cut finger holes and turn them into like sleeves I put under my shirt. That's something I started doing. Like other people would cut them and wear them like over that, but I have bigger boobs and I have wider shoulders because I'm a tall bitch. That wouldn't fit without crushing my titties. I'm not wearing that to school. Fuck that. So I'd like sew these basically like Stulpen in German, but I can't think of like what they're called in English. Like I guess gloves, I guess, but they go up to like my mid arm, like all the way up to like my armpit area. And I made those and I'd wear them, and they were like black and red stripes or like fishnets, etc. And I'd make them. Funnily enough, like a week after I started doing that, one of the, not really gauntlets, no, it's a little bit different. This was just fabric with like elastic to keep it up. And like a week after I started wearing these, one of the more popular alternative girls shows up and has something kind of similar on. Yeah, it's just basically like if you took like stockings, like striped stockings, and cut them at like the knee and sewed elastic in or like some type of grip stuff that would hold them up on your arm. And then you cut finger holes where the toes are. That's basically what I did to make them. It was just my little like, oh, this is cool. It'll work. And I made them like that. So like a week after I started wearing them, one of the more popular alternative girls starts wearing them. And we can guess where this goes. I start getting called a poser and a copycat because they're saying I copied her. And I'm like, I don't even fucking talk to her. Like I had like one extra class with her, which was video production. I worked on the school's like TV channel, I guess. Like they did morning announcements, and I would do like the sound engineering and stuff like that. And I worked on that with her. And that's the only time I ever saw her. I didn't have classes with her. And I kind of thought back, I'm like, wait a minute. There was one day she was like staring at my arm. And she asked me like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's just an elastic thing. So she literally got the idea from me, made it, and then said I fucking copied her. And I'm like, bitch, I don't care. Like, just, I didn't care. But the fact that they were making fun of me for copying, oh, that pissed me off. I was done after that. Like, people started copying me left and right then. And I didn't really even give a shit after that. My mom was like, oh, you should see like how many copied you. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I did it because it was fun. And if someone asked me how'd you do that, I'd happily tell them because I'm not a gatekeeping bitch. And I wasn't someone calling people posers. Like, what the fuck? Like, why? This is the thing. Like, share your knowledge. Share what you know. Share how you make shit together. Don't fucking do this and then judge others. I've got a bone to pick with that. I can't help it. It's like, if some little baby bat comes up to me and goes, oh my God, like, how can I make this? I will happily help you. I will help you. I'm so down. Like, I will show you. I love teaching people cool shit. I love showing people cool shit to make. It's fun. Like if someone literally came and said, oh, let me see, Sakura, let me see your desk. Like, how did you do that? I will happily fucking show you. I'll happily show you how I make shit and how I do things because it's fun. It brings people together. It makes a community. It makes shit cool. But like telling people you can't fucking do that because you're not cool enough or you're not this sucks dick. There's no other way. It sucks cock, and not the good kind of cock, the smelly, smeggy type. Sorry. Don't fucking clip that. It's stinky cock that nobody wants. The smelly. Bad. No. What's Elysium got here? I started playing WoW in 6th grade and everybody laughed at me for it. I started watching anime in 7th. Everybody hated me for it. In 8th grade, they started playing WoW and watching anime and hated me for not watching it. Kids are fucking dickheads. Yes, they fucking are. Oh, stop. I just said something about a smeggy cock. Calm down. Wash your shit then. Then it won't be smeggy. Jesus Christ. I'm talking about a refrigerator. The brand of fridge. Smeggy. User cannot time out zone. Yeah. This is just, I could go on forever about this. It's just, there's a lot of lore behind why I think the way I do about exclusionary shit, the way people treat each other, and the way that communities act. Like, I have, like, the issue a bit in the leftist community when I see people, okay, I'm going to give a little lore, like a little bit of a situation that happened to me recently. I was in Will Neff's chat, and Will, trigger warning, was talking about suicide. About, SA. Not SA suicide, but like basically offing yourself. And the chat was going off about stuff, and they were saying some things, and I made a comment about how at times suicide can be a very selfish choice. I get pinged by someone and they tell me that's very judgmental of you to say that, not knowing how mentally, people who are mentally depressed feel. And I'm going, trigger warning, I've tried to commit suicide 3 times in my life. I've gotten very close twice. And I, only with the help of family and friends, understood that my choice wasn't right and that I was being selfish at the point. It's not everybody's opinion. It's not everybody's viewpoint. And it's not how everyone should feel about it. I felt like I was being selfish in the moment. I was being very selfish. I didn't think about the people who were around me that would have questioned, could they have helped me more? I wasn't thinking about the people who would have helped me if I would have asked. And I wasn't thinking about like the giant hole I would leave and the trauma I would leave behind with it. And that's what I meant by saying selfish. But this leftist decided to come at me and say, how do you know they feel that way? How do you judge that? How dare you? And it's like, these are those moments where you go, you need to take a step back and go, maybe I don't completely understand this and I need a moment to listen or learn. And that is one of my big gripes with the leftist community, is the fact that a lot of people woke scold very quickly. You run people out of the community. It's kind of why I don't want to do leftist content, because that's not for me. There's a lot of amazing content creators like Gremlo. LB does a wonderful job of it, even though she's like, I'm not really political. LB's very eloquent in describing these things and doing her best to really explain them. There's Sean the Black. There's a lot of other people that really go into, there's Aaron. He goes into really great subjects. I don't feel equipped enough to give that information. I'm a bit of a bimbo. I have problems sometimes finding the words and getting it, and I don't want to misinform. So I just feel comfortable in this content. So I'm sorry if you ever think like, oh, we need more leftist content. Squirrel, shut the fuck up with Ludwig, you bitch. But that's kind of why I keep my mouth shut about certain things, because I don't want to really snap off on anyone. I'm a bit of a sassy bitch to where like I will call people out on their shit. I've kind of toned it down more. But I will call someone out on some shit if I go, hey, yo, well, what gives you the right to say these things? What gives you the right to judge people this way? What gives you the right to go about these things like this? Like, do you have personal experience, or are you assuming that you understand someone else without having had that personal experience? It's not okay. So please remember that when you're in a community with people, especially leftists, a lot of people who, I understand everyone wants to empathize with everyone and everyone wants to understand and get everything. You need to also understand that sometimes you won't have the right thing to say or the right perspective, and you need to listen. You need to be quiet. You need to listen and not judge and not grandstand and not try to say that you know all these things about stuff. Let people have their moment of explaining their experience, their pain, or whatever happened in that moment, or whatever's going on in the situation, and learn from their experience and then take more away from it. Don't always try to act like you have to have the answer or know the absolute point of what they're saying. That's what's missing a little bit in this community, is the moment to shut up for 2 fucking seconds and just let someone have a bit of word vomit about their situation and to tell you, and not try to guess or understand or put a name to it. That's important. That's what we need to work on more. Empathy is also listening. It's not just understanding, it's also listening. We need to remember that. That's all. Like, that one gets me. I need you doing whatever the fuck you feel like for content. Great, thank you. But yeah, I told my partner this. The other day I was actually ripping myself up. I'm like, I'm gonna go to another one because we're like this goofy bitch is sitting here. We'll go here. This one's pretty. I don't get to display this one enough since I'm rambling. And yes, are you a simp? You are. You're here. I make a very strong front. I'm gonna be very like open about who I am as a person. Like I'm a very confident person now. I am very confident now. But I've not always been that way. I've not always been the goth mommy you see. I went through a lot of doubt. I have gone through a lot of trauma in my life of people consistently basically breaking me down, basically ruining me as a person. They were family. They were close to me. There's my biological brother. I have siblings, yes, that I don't talk to. I have nothing to do with them. I have 3 other siblings, all biological. I'm close to my stepsister, but I'm not close to my bio siblings. I refuse to be. They don't get me. They don't understand me. And especially my older brother really was horrible to me. Like, I'm talking like just absolutely body shamed the shit out of me, made fun of me nonstop, and just broke me down. And I had to build myself up. And to this day, he's a fucking Republican, of course. I consistently have to defend myself if this person pops back up around my mother and they're there. And like, oh, Sakura, you think you know everything. It's like, no, I'm just being empathetic and understanding and asking you if you're sure that's the situation. And I don't like that. I don't like associating with that. So I removed myself from that. And I have a lot of issues with second guessing me as a person in the sense of like, am I consumable? Am I enjoyable? Like, it's easy to like yell at people. That's no problem. That's super easy. I can do that really well. But to actually like feel like you can make a connection with people, I am very bad at. I'm someone that is very cold at times. Like everyone's like, oh, you're so nice, you're so sweet. Yeah. But I'm also very distant. I don't like getting into shit sometimes. I like to keep my distance and I like to keep my veil there for protection. Cause I don't know, I just consistently feel like I don't want people to know a lot about me. Even people I've known for a long time have said that. Yeah, I chose, like, my stepsister's really great, and so is my nephew. But it's just something, like, I want everybody to understand that even though people make a very put together impression, or like, oh my god, goals, oh my god, mommy, not everybody's like that. All of us are very deeply flawed. I am not a perfect person, and I don't want people to think that I'm goals in any way. I'm just me. I'm Sakura. I don't feel confident always in the content that I feel like I might put out. I literally was second guessing my content. The other day I was sitting there and I'm like, the fuck am I gonna do? I have an issue with my neck, and that causes a lot of what's the best way to put it? The word I'm looking for, I don't remember. Like just remembering things and being able to like keep a train of thought at times can be difficult, or I'll say stuff weird, or you'll say typos in chat, right? My typos are, or I'll like type something twice, I'll forget I typed something. I basically, tonight's a lore night, isn't it? I basically had a pretty nasty accident that happened in my sleep that was done to me by someone that was in my life at the time, and it injured my neck. So because of the neck injury, brain fog, yes, massive brain fog. Because of this injury, which is like cervical syndrome, and it's like also something like a couple other things, it pushes on my spinal cord. So I do like physical therapy for it. I do all kinds of stuff, but there's only so much physical therapy can do. And it causes things like I have facial twitches, or I'll have moments where I can't really talk clearly. Some days it depends. Some mornings I wake up and I'm okay. Some days I'm not, and I need a little bit of time to like warm up. And what happens is I get stuck literally in a hole. I have like depression because of it. Like I do take medication, like it causes arrhythmia with my heart, because believe it or not, the vagus nerve that runs through your back controls your heartbeat. That's the one that makes you pass out. Like if you hit that nerve just right, you're going down. Like when you pass out or you hyperventilate, that's the nerve that's responsible for you fainting, basically. And I have a consistent pressure on that. And basically, I take a medication that slows my pulse down because of the way that it's compressed my vertebrae. My pulse could reach like 130 in my sitting, like just sitting, if I didn't take it. So that's fun. And I have to do yoga because it can't be like too much of crazy cardio. And that's been a lot for me. Like I had to really kind of like get used to it and find myself again and all that. And because of that, I feel like I'm not really all there sometimes. And that's why I call myself a bimbo, because I'm not going to get your expectations up to expect like amazing content here, when in all reality, you're just kind of getting like this stuff. So yeah, I guess the best way to put it is like, I too had to take a journey to find out who I am now. And I also got knocked off the pedestal when I thought I'd found myself viciously. I had to crawl my way back up. And having people who are positive, don't mind me, I just like cracked my neck. Ow. My neck's a bit tense because I'm talking about, whenever I talk about stuff that's a bit my neck tenses up, and then I get a little bit of a meh, but I get a little foggy. And basically everybody needs to have a community, or like people who understand them and feel like you're valid in some way or form, because if you don't, you will go to a dark place. You can feel very left alone. I mean, we all went through the pandemic. It was collective trauma, which we experienced. No one can say anything different. A lot of people may have had, Animal Crossing, or like, Zoom calls, or, FaceTime to get them through, but everyone had their own personal little hell during the pandemic, whether it be the whole time or it was only a chunk of the time. Collectively, a lot of us have a lot of trauma left over from the pandemic. We're all deeply, not traumatized, but deeply just very wounded from the whole situation of what happened. Yeah, a lot of people have PTSD from it. And a lot of people are looking for connections online. I mean, Twitch is a perfect example of a lot of people who are flawed, looking for connections in other people who are also flawed. But because we're flawed, we learn from these flaws, we grow as a community, and we learn so much more about people. We learn so much more about other communities. I mean, a lot of tradders here are trans because they feel like that they can make more connections here, because you're not having to be in front of the person. You don't have to be physically judged. You're being judged on who you are as a person. And I can understand that completely, because I have people in my lives that have gone through transitions and have said online is the best place for them, because they don't feel like they're automatically being clocked for who they look like, or what they look like, or how far their transition is. And it's great. And I have to honestly say, like, I love this community. It pulled me out of a hole. I was going through the motions and doing my job and doing everything, and just, I love my job. I like what I do. I, enjoy it. I make good money doing it. But it's also a very lonely job, because people are very secretive and don't want you talking. You don't ask anything. You don't do anything. You have your conversations, you have your daily sessions, and that's it. And then you are kind of left there. I live out in the middle of nowhere. A lot of my friends live in either other countries or further away. And then there's this. And then you find a community. And I found Hassan. And when I found Hassan's community, the funny part is my chat logs are like a combination of me and my stepsister chatting. So there's like, it's mixed. It's so mixed up. So like, we kind of bonded over that during the pandemic. Like, she had seen him somewhere and I had seen him somewhere, and I had like been watching his YouTube videos, and I moved over more towards like his content on Twitch. And then I just slowly started talking. And the reason why I'm so defensive of LB is LB was like one of the first community members who really reached out a hand. LB is very sweet in that way, that she is very welcoming and very accepting. That's why she has such a community around her, because she's such a beacon of like, oh, that's okay, don't worry. It's that teacher energy, but also the nerd energy, let's be real, of being like Hassan's librarian. She reached a hand out and was like, hey, yeah, I want to use some of your content. I want to do this and do that. And we just had some really great conversations in the DM. And I can honestly say, like, LB really helped me kind of like pull myself out of a hole. I was like pretty depressed at the time. Like, I have bouts of depression. Like, I don't medicate for it, but it's always just been kind of a constant like friend of mine my whole life. And I was very depressed, and then I found the community, and I was like, oh, wow, I could like be active here. I could do some things outside of work, and I could feel like I have a purpose. Like, I can, help. And that's great. And it helps really pull me out. My partners told me like, please tell people thank you, because they brought you back. And I didn't know I was that far fucking gone. And that's not good to hear. But this creating all of this and working on like all of this stuff that you see, I did like, this was weeks of work, this months of work. This avatar, I got very lucky. I had a friend who does this and I worked with, and then they helped me get someone, and it's not like a super, this is actually a pretty like basic avatar. They got very lucky to work with a very talented artist. It was like, I cannot say their name very well because they're Chinese. I'm sorry. I don't want to butcher it. I'll have to look it up, but I'll have to put it in my like, my information so people can see. But I got very lucky with that, and I did this, and this has been a really fun. And my partner's like, oh, you can just talk about anything. It doesn't fucking matter. You know, I actually just like dead ass quiet. I'm gonna put some music on because I feel very self-conscious that it's so fucking quiet. There we go. But it's just one of those things where I've had a lot of fun doing this. I love being able to talk about goth stuff. I love being able to just like be a part of stuff. And I know I seem mean, but I'm mean for all the right reasons. Do you know what I mean? If I see you kind of being sussy or weird or mean to someone or being a bit too much, I will say something and I'll nicely say it, but in a mean way that you think is a joke. You know, that's the thing. Like, I'm very direct. I'm very direct. It's just one of those gabby like sessions. Like, I'm a very direct person. I've been my whole life. Like, every partner I've ever been with, I've initiated. It's been me going, hey, you know, you're kind of cool. I like your vibes. You want to fuck? They're like, what? I'm like, yes. Do you want to fuck? Things, you know, relationship. They're like, my partner literally had to be told by their good friend that I was interested in them because they didn't catch the vibes. My partner's autistic though. So that's kind of to be expected. They're like, really? Okay. So, all right. Yeah. And then finally got their attention and then, yeah. But yes, I'm someone that I believe that, you know, you have to really go grab what you want. If I can be like a little bit of a help with that, that's what this Are You a Simp thing is about giving like people asking questions, then I'll answer them and be like, hey, you know, I mean, it's not gonna fucking work right now. Don't try it. I don't know why my fucking streamer bot's like fucking stuff up right now, but I want to be able to like have people ask questions like, hey, oh, what about this? Hey, oh, what about that? I have like a question thing. And I really want to make this like a segment of Are You a Simp? Meaning by like, it's just a general branding of like, oh, you got questions? I'll answer, you know? So, you know, just being able to kind of give a little bit of insight into some things because I am older. Oh God, I'm so fucking old. I'm not saying the number out loud. Some motherfuckers know, and if you type it in chat, I'm timing you out. I don't care. Y'all are harsh to us old bitches. I can't help it. I'm not calling Gen Z out or anybody. Come on, just leave a bitch alone. Nah, 24. Elysium. No, God, no, I don't want to be 24 again. I'm fine with my age. It's just, I don't need it plastered everywhere, okay? But yeah. So yeah, this has been one hell of a side tangent, hasn't it? I'm just like blah, 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 diarrhea of the mouth. Cha-cha-cha. I have to let the ad run anyway. Poor Zenoto has been like pushing the ads for me. I see that. Thank you. He's like, we're having a moment. We're having a moment pushing the ads or whoever. It could have been like Tiamani Zenoto or Lily, whichever. Thank you again for being mods, by the way. I really appreciate it. I just kind of feel bad slapping mods on people because it happens to me as well. I don't mind it. If you need a mod, I'll help out happily. I might be a little bit too mean though. I'm sorry ahead of time, but I'm not really sorry. I'll still be mean. Sorry. Because if it means that people aren't being dickheads and ruining the fucking vibes in chat, then I will do it. Don't fuck the vibes. The vibes need to be stellar. They need to be top. They need to be impeccable. Impeccable vibes. This is what we need. That's why the mods are there. Yes. If I make you mod ban literally everyone, yeah, no, I won't ban everyone. We're the mods, like everybody's super chill. We just seem mean, kinda. Oh God, it's too hot in here. Goddamn, been yapping so much. I'm getting warm. That's when I know I need to shut the fuck up. It's when I've been like, yapping that I'm warm. Rambling, one would say. Yeah. Oh, to go back to this goth bitch or not? I don't know. I think I've said my piece for her. She got her piece from me. Yeah. I could go to something else. You like it when I'm mad? Of course you do. Yeah. You want the mad mommy? Hold on. Let me get mad mommy out. There you go. There's mad mommy. You like it when I'm mad? No one's getting this for free though. You only get the little bit of the mad mommy. That's it. No. Bad. Very bad. I need like a whip crap sound. Whip crap? Ayo. Whip crack sound. I can say it. Just what the Get in line. Stop being fuckers. Okay, nope, we're not going that way. Nope, put the mad mommy away. That'll cost you, sorry. Nope, I promised. I made a promise to my partner, like none of that. I'm like, okay. I promised, I'm sorry. I promised, I'm sorry. I'm tucking it back in. Tucking it back in. Yes. Okay. You know what? I have got... Yeah. I had a... What was this other? TikTok's goth problem. There was that one. I had the crow the new Crow. Ugh. I wanted to have a quick look at the new Crow trailer. They released an international one recently, and I don't think anyone knows quite the correlation of the Crow within the goth community and like the alternative community. You have all definitely seen the fucking Crow's face somewhere, like Brandon Lee, yada yada, blah blah blah. This is worse than 9/11 for me, yes. And basically, I wanted to go over that, and then I'll probably call it quits-ish after that because it's a smidgen late, and I have to get up early tomorrow and go fucking grocery shopping. I hate fucking going around people. Sorry. Oh, there's this one granny I see like every other week at the grocery store who always stares at me really intensely because of my fucking hand tattoo. Oh, thank you for the subscription. I'm a Ziggy Star Die. Thank you. Thank you. See the bats? They work. Fucking A. Those at least fucking work. Everything else is just a hot mess right now. The hot fucking mess. Music up a bit. There you go. God damn it. It does that always. You love the German supermarket? It's a lot of people leaving their carts in the middle of the fucking alley, like the middle of the aisle. Yeah, German Lidl. Let's see. So, all right, let me pull that up and let me go back to chatting. Bing bong, bing bong. Oh, we're back here again, are we? Let's go ahead and stop the music. All right, so I'm gonna put you through the Crow trailer, the new one. I won't play the original. Maybe we should play the original Crow trailer first. And then this one. That might be a good juxtaposition. Let me see. Let's put the music back on while I'm doing that. So you got something to listen to while I'm digging. See, I don't screen capture. I window capture. I don't trust shit. I'm too fucking paranoid about stuff. 1994. God damn. Jesus Christ. Which one's better? Classic trailer? Okay. Oh, boop. Alright, we'll do a nice little juxtaposition. Angela, get the fuck out of here. No one wants to look at your stupid channel. So nice. Alright, so. Bro, nice adverts. Get the fuck out of here. I have a fucking ad blocker. Fuck you, YouTube. Alright, so this is the original trailer. We're gonna do a nice little comparison. Thank you. I like my transitions. This is the original from '94. Be prepared for shit that's weird.
This night is upon us again. Throw a little party, start a bunch of fires, make a little profit.
Back when they didn't tell you the whole story on it.
When someone's dead, they can't come back, can they?
That's what I thought. Are you referring to anyone in particular?
My daddy used to say, every man's got a devil. You can't rest till you find him.
Winked at me before he jumped out a fourth-floor window like he had wings.
Crow is his link between the land of the living and the realm of the dead.
So you killed the crow. Caw, bang, I'm dead!
All these old school trailers.
The devil's and felt how awful goodness is. You felt how awful goodness is.
Okay, so this movie is very much so known for being very cursed because the lead actor Brandon Lee died making this movie. Yeah, an Alec Baldwin happened to him basically. Yeah. So, all right, that's the old one, and then we'll go to the new one. Excuse my absolute excitement over this. This has got yeah, we just fucking play it.
What's the first thing you liked about me?
I thought that you were quite brilliantly broken.
You feel like my person?
You feel like my person.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
I saw things. I shouldn't have seen any of it.
It's not Post Malone, it's Ozzy Osbourne and Post Malone. So yeah. Take what you want from me, take it. Oh.
Please don't do this!
See, there's Ozzy.
When someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes something so bad happens that the soul cannot rest until you put the wrong things right.
Sometimes something so bad happens that the fuck boy's gotta come back to life.
You were given the power of a god.
Damn, he got rips though. Jesus Christ, bro is on roids.
I'm gonna kill every single one of them. And killed you? Yeah, you did.
We have a problem. He came for us.
He's gone goth.
First impulse. Anger.
Bro, simping for this.
It's not
the industry, so you simping for those 6-packs.
It's love.
Look at what you've become. You know that love promises only pain. You have no idea what hell awaits you. No, I do.
How many people have you loved?
I'll never be alone.
Yeah. Bro, what the fuck is Mel Gibson doing? Is he still doing movies? God damn, I thought he's gone. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, it's based off of a comic, which I have the original, like the anniversary edition came out this year. And of course I yoinked it. But I just feel like someone went, you know what? Make a Gen Z. We need Gen Z. Gen Z, yes, Gen Z the Crow. Perfect. Just slap some tattoos on him, say, you're my person, make him a fuckboy, give him a half skullet, and we're off. That's literally what they did. I feel like no originality was put into it. That's what pisses me off the most, is that. We've also got, like, this. We might go over this one. Why not? Because this one's really good. This is the true story of, like, The Crow is considered to be a cursed movie. It has always been, like, really difficult to, like, get another Crow made since the first one. And if it was made, it was absolute shit. So listen, I'll let people watch that movie because, you know, Skarsgård's got a 6-pack. I will let you have the fact that he was ripped as fuck for the movie. You can watch it for that purpose. But if you're watching it to be like, oh, this is going to be a good storyline. No. Watch it to goon. That's enough. Do that. But it's not going to be really a great representation of the comic, to be honest. The comic is, I mean, the problem is I was rereading the comic and I'm like, ooh, this is not aged well. There's definitely like a lot of, like, Black phobic culture a little bit in it, I noticed. And I'm like, like associating Black people with crime. And I'm like, oh God, I have not read this in a long time. Okay. You know, you go back to old content and you're like, oh, and it's not like in your face really bad or anything. It's just like everybody who is a person of color having a very uneducated tone to their voice. It's kind of like assuming that they sound like that. It sits weird by me. It sits really fucking weird by me. I don't like that. And I understand that the person who wrote this, he's from Texas. I'm like, okay, he's from Texas. I understand that they were probably going for like a realistic, like very similar to like what the View was in the 80s or 90s around that. And it was very like, you know, let's remember the old term before AVL, which was, what was it called? Eubonics. back when it was called eubonics, ladies and gentlemen. That's when this motherfucker wrote this book, was in the eubonics era. Yeah. So we need to remember that. You need to sleep now or you'll die tomorrow. Good night, billion drinks. Sleep tight. AVS. Yes. Why did they say AVL? Please give my brain. This is why we don't do leftist content, because my brain's stupid. Yes. That's the one. Thank you, Elysium. And like American, African-American vernacular English. Yes. It used to be called eubonics. It was. And this, when that was written, was during the eubonics era. And it was just not a good time. Not a good time. But yeah, like revisiting, like, go back to stuff you read when you were a kid and get back to me about how some of that's aged. You've seen it. We've all seen it. When we go back and we're like, ooh, Ace fucking Ventura is a perfect example of that. The original Ace Ventura. Holy fucking shit, it's unwatchable. Holy fucking shit, it's terrible. Oh, the sequel's even being, yeah. Like Ace Ventura is one that a lot of kids like may have seen it like on TV when they were younger or whatever, and like, oh yeah, I remember it was fun. And then you go back to as an adult, you're like, oh Jesus Christ, this is bad. So yeah, the original Jinx and Pokemon, yeah, it's so bad, it's so bad. So yeah, that's this kind of age. So it's kind of the way with this movie a little bit. Like there are bits and pieces in it that you're like, I like to think they did an okay job, but good, I gotta turn this down because I'm feeling like this one was really loud because it's the Screen Rant. Now it's kind of like a content channel. This is death. Well, let me link this. And then after this, I will call it Kvitsies. Where's the night? They find a one. That's of course Pokemon animation.
Violence, chaos.
Do not
sure, those
fucking
words
try
could
and
be
throw an
used to
ad in there,
describe the
YouTube, you
fictional
piece of
events in the
shit.
movie The Crow, but the film's script and plot pales in comparison to what went on behind the scenes in what many call the most cursed movie production of all time. This curse is still in effect today, since the planned Crow reboot has recently lost Jason Momoa of the
Okay, this is 5 years old, by the way. So this is a long time ago.
upcoming Aquaman film. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new Screen Rant content.
Yep. Anti-Asian racism.
First released in 1994, The Crow has garnered a huge following over the years, not only for the tale told on the screen, but for all the madness that occurred behind the scenes. Tragic deaths, crazy stunt incidents, and a cursed legacy that still carries on today are what keep the movie relevant, and has it continue to reach audiences all over the world. Separating fact from fiction, we will showcase the true story behind The Crow, and how the dark production may go down as one of the most cursed movies in Hollywood. Back in the early 1990s, moviegoers weren't given comic book films like today's generation. While the MCU and DCE
He has COVID. That's what he's gonna say. He'll blame all the like issues talking and not feeling so great on COVID. You wait. Like, yeah, guys, that's why I've been so off my game. That's why I said battle box instead of ballot box. It's gonna be the COVID. Why are we not surprised? Like, my mom was telling me that in America, like, no one really gives a shit about COVID. I mean, here it's so, like, the numbers aren't too bad, but no one really gives a shit anymore. So, I don't know. Let's see, Jack. COVID. I was hoping that he had something else, like dropout-itis. That'd be better. We ain't getting that, though.
EU are filling up theaters nearly every month. A comic book movie in the 1990s was more of a novelty. Batman ruled the era with Tim Burton's Batman in 1989 and Batman Returns in 1992. But not too much else stood out. Around this time, Paramount Pictures purchased the rights to a much darker and bleaker comic book known as The Crow. Published by the little-known Caliber Press and written by James O'Barr, the movie was taking a big risk by reaching out to audiences who may not be so well-versed with a vengeful hero. The black and white comic follows Shelley Webster and Eric Draven, an engaged couple who are brutally attacked and murdered by a gang of thugs on the day before Halloween. A year later, a
gang of thugs. Ugh, I hate that term.
Supernatural Crow returns to Eric Draven's grave and awakens him from the dead to exact his revenge. Reborn again, Draven has self-healing abilities and seeks out to destroy everyone who did him wrong. While the movie production has enough tragedy of its own, the roots of the comic are drawn from sad circumstances as well. Author and artist James O'Barr didn't just have an active imagination to come up with the Crow. The character and plot were created after O'Barr lost his fiancée during a car accident with a drunk driver. His depression and despair helped drive the
this guy, I don't know a lot about the author, but he has like a lot of past pain, and that's how he worked through it in the comic. So there's that, but there's also, you don't necessarily 100% know what mindset or like what his cultural background is, like with, you know, is he racist? Is he not? I mean, it's sad that that happened to him, but I really hope there's nothing else to it.
As
I
he
think a lot
used
of the
comic
goth
book
community
drawings
doesn't
as
have
some
too much
form
of
of
an issue.
personal therapy. Once pre-production began on the project, the Crow needed a cast and a proper actor to fill the hero's shoes. This is where actor Brandon Lee comes into the picture. Other prominent actors like Johnny Depp, Christian Slater, and River Phoenix were all considered for the part, but Lee's physical presence ultimately won him the role. In the early 90s, Lee mostly starred in a string of action movies, but many people knew him as the son of martial arts and acting legend Bruce Lee. Looking for a way to step out of the shadow of his own father, Brandon Lee actually stepped into the shadows as the star of The Crow. At the time, Lee was probably best known for a role in Showdown in Little Tokyo, but his casting in The Crow was already making headlines before the movie began filming. Unfortunately for Lee, his starring turn in The Crow would be his final role, and he would never get to enjoy the worldwide fame that came with it. For an adaptation of The Crow, director Alex Proyas kept the visual style and set design as close to the original comic as possible. While the film was not in black and white like the comics, colors were desaturated, and the film seems to take place almost exclusively at night. Along with Brandon Lee, Ernie Hudson was cast as Police Sergeant Albrecht. Michael Wincott was cast as gang member Top Dollar, and Tony Todd played a henchman known as Grange. As pre-production.
By the way, Tony Todd, amazing as Candyman. Candyman series is a great horror movie series. I love that. And the new movie is missing like the like really dingy vibe to it, and like very artistic, whereas like the new one's just kind of like me.
Production rolled on, everything seemed to fall into place quite easily.
Like,
Brandon Lee fit into the role well, and even had a lot of different suggestions when it came to the script and tone of the movie. Filming was set to begin in North Carolina during early 1993, but things took a turn for the worse starting right on day one.
Oh boy.
It was February 1st, 1993, and The Crow was ready to come to life. A crane worker on the set accidentally collided with a group of power lines, sending an electric shock through his entire body, so strong and quick that nearly all of his internal organs were actually burned. The worker was rushed to a hospital where he managed to survive the intense electrical shock from both external and internal burns. In a separate incident on the same day, an equipment truck was set on fire. These may have seemed like mild coincidences.
Cursed, someone get an exorcist. Oh shit. God damn.
But they were just the beginning of a long curse which would plague the rest of the movie. Even off the set, The Crow went through major problems. A publicist for the movie was involved in a car accident. Production continued on, but it seemed like the cast and crew could not avoid these injuries. One set worker accidentally stabbed a screwdriver through his hand in an injury more fitting for the set of a Saw movie rather than The Crow. While filming another scene, a stunt worker fell through a set rooftop and broke many ribs in the process. Even the trained professionals could not make it very long on that troubled production. One of the strangest stories comes from a worker who drove a truck through the production of The Crow. The details of the incident has varied over the years, with some tales of the disgruntled employee driving through out of rage, and others claiming it was a true accident. The actual account and details of the incident have never been fully pinned down, but the fact remains that a truck did drive through the set of The Crow, and a lot of unnecessary damage took place, but thankfully no one was injured. All of these injuries and craziness on the set were slowly building up to something more tragic.
This was
for
the
exterior
90s,
scenes
bro.
of The Crow,
They know
Mother
OSHA.
Nature also added her wrath to the mix. In early March of 1993, much of the eastern United States was walloped with a blizzard simply referred to as the storm of the century. While snow fell in rare areas like Florida, The Crow's production in North Carolina was hit with mega winds and over 30 inches of snow. The massive storm was responsible for the destruction of multiple sets and added up to thousands and thousands of dollars worth of damage. The set incidents would...
The movie is also set in Detroit on Devil's Night. Devil's Night isn't purely Detroit's like / Michigan thing, isn't it? Because I was trying to explain this to someone one time, like, what the fuck is Devil's Night? And I'm like, oh, like my mom always told me what Devil's Night was, and I remember like being there, and I was like, in the house is Devil's Night, it's bad, and I'm like, what? And then it's like it's a Detroit thing, is what I've come to understand. Like, is that true that it's like just mainly Detroit where Devil's Night happens? I know that they'd set houses on fire, basically. Like, that was the biggest thing. It's a regional thing, so it's spread more. Okay. Because I know like in Detroit, it goes hard. Like, people are just setting tons of old abandoned houses on fire. It's spread up to Flint as well, from what I understood. Yeah. So, Yeah, Devil's Night was something that I could never really explain to people. There's some places where the night before Halloween have, yeah, you go out and you do like pranks and stuff, right? You grew up in Flint till you were 12. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So that means if you grew up in Flint till you were 12 was what's it called? Auto World still there? Or is it blown up already when you left? A big old dome that they built, like, bro, that city was so cocked to cars, and then they left and it was just a skeleton. Nothing left, bro. Flint got fucking, Flint got pwned. Pwned? Ah! Ah, why did I say pwned? I was in that like 5 fucking years playing online. I got this shit basically ripped out of him. Like, I remember, so my stepdad worked for one of the like bigger car companies that basically like fucked off out of Flint, right? And he was part of Delphi, AC Delco. Now, there's some interesting backstory there because they're one of the few companies that I think in 2008 or 2009 is when that went down from what I'm trying to remember. Yeah. And what happened was they gave a lot of the people who worked there the option to either A, go into retirement, or B, just get fired. So their pensions all went through the company, like a lot of US companies do. Their 401ks went through Delphi, Delco. I don't know what the fuck they're called now. And I remember my stepfather retired, and it started with a Federal Express letter, from what I remember. My mom's like, oh shit. And he got a Federal Express letter saying, we're switching up your health care. You're going to Cobra. And he's like, oh, okay. And then the next month, Delphi/Delco declared bankruptcy. They just went under. So they did scorched earth. They took everything. And because the way the law works in the United States, they did not have to give these workers who had paid, I think my stepfather had paid like 35 years into a pension. He lost it all. He got none of it. If you talk to people in Michigan, in Flint especially, there's like thousands of people who are still trying to take this. Like they went after Kildee for years. I know this name because my stepfather always talked about the old Kildee. Like they went after Kildee for a long time trying to get him to get it back. There were a lot of empty promises that they'd brought, like, oh yeah, we've brought it to Obama. We're talking about because of the way the laws, like the bankruptcy laws work in the United States, everything that Delphi/Delco, whatever the fuck they're called now, did was absolutely legal. So he lost everything. My stepfather is, 73, and still has to work a full-time job at 73, even though he paid into his pension for 35 years. He got fucked. You know what the other fun part is? Within 6 months, they had completely torn down every last bit of the plant he worked at. They basically scorched earth it, all of it gone. Why? Because they paid less taxes then. That's why. They just ripped it all down. Like in a matter of like a month, it was gone. Fucking gone. Bye. Just gone. And I remember hearing from my mom how my stepdad would like torture himself and drive past this. Like he loved the job he did. He really enjoyed. He was like missions engineer. So he basically like tested cars and their emissions and would hook them up and do it for like a lot of like companies and stuff like that. He later went to some place called Umicore in Detroit and continued like doing it, but that took a while to get there. And yeah, to this day they have never gotten their pension at all. So my stepfather's had to continue working into his 70s when in all technicality he should have been able to retire. So fuck America. Fuck Flint. Flint got fucked massively by the government. Like they left them out to dry. They left them out to hang. That's why it's so fucking empty. Yeah, Roger and Me is about that. Yeah, we know. We'll start with Michael Moore. He's a cunt. Went to the high school that I did a exchange year at. I was like, yeah, Michael Moore went here. I'm like, oh, great. My mother had a business in Michael Moore's mother's house, and he fucking bought it and kicked my mother's business out and refused, and the house just sat empty. So fuck Michael Moore. He ruined my mom's business because he had to have where his mother was born to let it sit empty. Fuck that dude. Yeah. Fun little tidbit. Fuck Michael Moore for that. He ruined my mother's business. She like had to close it. It was a tea house. She like was really good at what she did. She enjoyed it, and they fucked it. So good job, Michael. You piece of shit. Yeah, there you go. It's kind of what I didn't like that my mother like tried to negotiate and tried to just like, no, I just want it. It's like, Let her have her business in it. Like, dude, it's just sitting empty now. Nothing's happening with it. Like, she was so good to it as well. He was such a dickhead, I swear. Oh, but yeah, that's a little bit more lore for you there. Let's continue again with the crow. Ooh, lots of tangents today.
Would be nothing compared to the tragedy that occurred on March 31st, 1993. While the storm of the century was still being cleaned up in the area, a storm of truly tragic circumstances was taking place at the EUE Screen Gem studio in Wilmington, North Carolina. The movie was filming shortly after midnight, which was nothing new for the grueling production. According to an article published by Entertainment Weekly back in 1993, Lee would work mostly through the night, get sleep during the morning hours, and still find time to hit the gym and keep his physique in peak form. Unfortunately for the actor, he may have been in great shape, but nothing could have helped prevent his death from the fatal gunshot wound. The short version of the infamous death includes Brandon Lee accidentally getting shot while filming a scene and dying shortly after. Once news of the actor's death spread, stories, speculation, urban legends, and made-up facts followed the case. The death of a leading actor while in the middle of a role was a rarity in Hollywood, and in the days before internet and instant news was available in the palm of our hands, a lot of the misinformation and false facts were spread by word of mouth. Some of the tall tales involving Brandon Lee's shooting and death included a conspiracy to actually kill the actor, discussions about including the scene in the final cut of the film, and about various actors getting arrested for murder. While there is a ton of misinformation about the star's on-set shooting, the true details and story are an unfortunate set of circumstances that could have been stopped or avoided a number of times before the trigger was actually being pulled. On March 31st, the movie was set to film a flashback scene involving Eric Draven and his girlfriend getting brutally attacked by a gang and left for dead. In the scene, Draven was supposed to enter his apartment and get instantly shot by Michael Massey's character known as Funboy. The gun used for the scene was used in other scenes for The Crow, and its improper handling led to that tragic accident. A 6-shooter 44 Magnum Smith & Wesson Model 629 was the gun Funboy used for the scene, and like many other scenes, blanks were supposed to be the only thing loaded into the weapon. In previous scenes, close-ups of the gun relied on dummy cartridges rather than blanks, so the bullets inside the gun would look as realistic as possible. Even if no bullets are used in a gun, movie sets will typically hire a firearms expert or handler to inspect guns and ensure they are safe to use during an on-set take of the film. Unfortunately, the firearms specialist was sent home early, and no one was properly trained enough to inspect the gun. While the 44 Magnum was loaded with dummy cartridges, one of the bullets was improperly set up in the gun, shot off, and became lodged within the barrel. The prop master, actors, and other handlers of the weapon did not notice the jammed bullet when the dummy cartridges were replaced with the blanks. Blank rounds feature gunpowder and primer to recreate the effect of a gunshot, but nothing actually projects from the gun. In this case, the first take saw Brandon Lee burst into the apartment as Michael Massey pointed the gun at him and shot off the blank towards his stomach. The force of the blank round caused the lodged bullet to project from the gun and hit Brandon Lee directly in the stomach. There were more than 5 different times where the gun could have been checked and stopped, along with a possible test round of the blank cartridge. If just one of these had occurred, his death would have been completely prevented, even though there is not a single one person at fault for the incident. Knowing the nature of the scene, there was a delayed reaction to Lee's shooting, and anyone on set actually realizing the actor had been shot. Because he was supposed to fall down from the gunshot wound, many actors and crew members thought he was playing the part. Adding to it were fake blasts that went off through a grocery bag prop that Lee was carrying for the scene. It wasn't until a huge pool of actual blood formed around Lee's fallen body that people realized how serious the situation had become. Attempts to stop the bleeding were done as everyone waited for the ambulance to arrive and transport Lee for medical help. While rumors claimed that Lee died instantly on set, this was not the case. The actor was rushed to a nearby hospital where he underwent surgery for nearly 6 hours. The bullet had hit an artery in Lee's stomach and eventually lodged against his spine. The blood loss was so severe and so rapid that Lee needed 60 pints of blood in order to continue treatment. The shooting itself happened at around 12:30 in the morning on March 31st, and the actor was pronounced dead a little over 12 hours later while in the hospital. Brandon Lee was 28 years old at the time of his death. Not unlike his character in the movie, Lee was engaged in real life, and his wedding to Eliza Hutton was set for just a few weeks after The Crow wrapped filming. The death of Brandon Lee brought on a lot of rumors and speculation, especially when compared to his father's own sudden death at the age of 32. One of the biggest rumors to spread in the early 1990s, and still heard today, is how the death was the cause of either a family curse or a murder committed by a group of Chinese criminals known as the Triads. The Triads supposedly held a grudge against the Lee family for refusing to star in any of the films that they funded or produced. One of the biggest things fueling these rumors was a scene in one of Bruce Lee's final movies, The Game of Death. In the film, Lee plays an actor filming scenes of a movie within a movie, where his character gets shot with a real bullet instead of a prop gun. The odd and eerie coincidence of the fictional and real-life death helped spur some of the more outlandish conspiracies.
That's kind of why the movie has like such a cult and like classic like following to it, because people know the price that was paid making the movie and they don't want to see it basically being turned into some pile of shit. Okay, night Doofington, sleep well. Oh, we'll wait for a minute here anyway because there's an ad in progress. We shall wait. Ow. But yeah, that's kind of why people are very protective, I think, of The Crow, because of the situation with Brandon Lee and everything that happened. So people are not very open to this new interpretation, you know. I will check Discord at the end. Yes, thank you. I'll have a look. I'm gonna put this into my browser from Ziggy. Oh, I remember to check later. Do not autoplay.
Through
boop, you shush. There, you're in my list now. The old satanic panic. Satanic-y, wanicky, panicky. Satan, aka Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, now they're rolling dice. My dice still doesn't work. God damn it. I have to make sure I go through those tomorrow. That pisses me off. LB came in and literally spent money to see my dice work and like spent points and then it didn't fucking work. It's like, wah. Stupid streamer bot. But yeah, we've got 10 more seconds and then we can kick it off again. Then we should probably wrap it up soon before the next ad break. Yes, them's the words. Bro, it's almost 1 a.m. here. Yes. Fucking bot. Yeah, LB got her comeuppance. That's what she gets for taking away the fart command in chat. That was her payment for it. To pay for it. Oh, I'll have to take a look. It's probably just like a simple restart thing. I bet I would restart OBS and it'll probably fucking work because that's how it is. Okay, we're back. Let's go.
Theories, although none of them ultimately ended up being true. The on-set shooting of Brandon Lee was truly deemed an accident, and the case was quickly closed by investigators. With their lead star dead and a little over a week left to film, Paramount Pictures were left in the precarious position of continuing production, or being accused of using Lee's death to try and profit from the movie. Lee's fiancé and family gave their blessing for production to continue, in honor of Lee and the role he put so much work into. Paramount Pictures did not feel the same way. The production company declined to continue production in any way, and this is where Miramax stepped in. Funding an extra $8 million through their smaller studio Dimension Studios, The Crow was able to continue production and complete filming. The only problem was that Lee was needed for a number of key scenes. Multiple pages of the script needed to be rewritten as scenes were cut, and whole characters were even eliminated in some cases.
Bro, who the
the
fuck
attack
is that?
scene in the apartment was heavily cut down, with quick shots and cutaways used instead of longer segments showing the attack and sexual assault.
It's probably
Using
better
special
that way.
angles
Ew.
and wide shots, a stunt double was used for a majority of the scenes, where Draven comes back to life. But the whole production also took the gamble of using CGI face effects to replace Draven in numerous scenes. 1 year earlier, face replacement CGI was used for Lex's character in Jurassic Park, but the effects were mostly uncharted territory, and The Crow could mark the first time ever a deceased actor was brought back to life on screen. The actual face shots are short and quick clips as Brandon Lee's crow-painted face is superimposed over the stunt double's body. Spending millions at the time, the effects seemed to work, and the horrid film production finally came to an end with a lot of sadness hanging over it. For many, the on-set shooting incident and experience shooting The Crow would change them forever. Despite being a 100% accident on the part of actor Michael Massey, the impact of the shooting was so traumatizing that Massey stopped acting for an entire year while he tried to work through the post-traumatic stress caused by the accident. The Crow was eventually set for a release of May 13th, 1994, with much of the talk still focused on Brandon Lee's tragic passing. Miramax decided to take the higher ground when promoting the movie, releasing trailers and artwork, but never referencing the actors.
Like, the posters to this fucking movie are so goddamn iconic. him in that broken room with like the electrical taped shirt with holes in it and his hands all wrapped up, just sitting in that old chair. Holy shit, is that such an awesome image? I'm sorry. It's like one of the most badass images ever. Like every goth girl had that shit on their wall. Because he's just so cool. Like he's making a comeback again. Like all of TikTok is basically rediscovering the Crow. And they're going, oh my God, Jesus Christ, Brandon Lee. It's like, he's dead. He's dead. And they're like, oh my God. And everybody loves like a good sad tale. So they're like, oh my God, that's so sad. But he's so hot. But it's so sad. But he's so hot. You know, one of those circles of like, oh, sad. Oh, gooning. Oh, sad. Oh, gooning type of things. Because that's what TikTok does. But yeah. And plus, the soundtrack to that fucking film is iconic. It is a very like accurate snapshot of the like music at the time. Like, you got The Cure, you've got fucking 9 Inch Nails, you've got Stone Temple Pilots, you got so many people, you got fucking Black Flag on there, Henry fucking Rollins. Like, holy shit, like it was a really great soundtrack. Amazing soundtrack. Like, check it out if you don't know it. Like, it's really good. It may be older, but it's still good.
Death or the shooting itself. This didn't stop fans from eagerly anticipating the movie's release and spreading rumors about the inclusion of the shooting. One of the biggest false rumors spread around, and especially after The Crow was released on home video, was the shooting was included in the final cut of the film. Of course, in the movie, we see Eric Draven get shot during numerous scenes, but all of those were coordinated stunts. The producers of the movie were intent on preventing the footage from ever leaking out to the masses, and the original film cells which recorded the incident were immediately destroyed after the police investigation determined the shooting to be an accident.
No one should see
Despite
that.
urban legends and rumors stating otherwise, there are no deleted scenes, quick cuts, or any uncut version of The Crow featuring the shooting in it. The scenes many people reference feature Lee in full Crow makeup, when the actual scene he was shot in just featured Eric Draven in his normal human form anyway. The Crow's origin story, interest in the comic book film, and the real-life death all culminated in The Crow's #1 spot at the box office on opening weekend. Taking in nearly $12 million for the opening, The Crow wound up with $50 million in total box office. The film really soared when it was released on home video. Rentals and purchases of the film surged as the cult of The Crow began to rise. Teenagers who couldn't see the R-rated movie in theaters were able to easily view it at home, and the character garnered a pretty big cult following. The gothic style, music, and story in the film collected fans by the masses, and over 20 years later, it's still not uncommon to see a Crow Halloween costume pop up around Halloween.
Not even just Halloween, it's just default makeup for goths.
Blonde-haired surfer-themed wrestler known as Sting to completely transform his look into an homage of The Crow, complete with trench coat, bird calls, and mysterious persona.
Well, there needs to be like a video done about how homoerotic fucking WWE, WWF is, man. There's so much Sting. Like, there needs to be something. Like, the sad part is a lot of them are fucking hogs now, sadly. Like, I used to love The Undertaker. He's a fucking huge hog. It's like, God damn it. Why?
Crow managed to make back millions above the final budget of $23 million, and Brandon Lee became a household name because of the role. For many, it's hard to separate Lee's death from the actual work of the film, attributing to the darker themes, tones, and Lee's mesmerizing performance as the tragic character. Back in 1994, The Crow received a lot of favorable reviews, and currently stands at 81% on Rotten Tomatoes with both a mix of current and retro reviews. Miramax wasted no time developing a sequel in an attempt to help the character live on. The curse that plagued
that's what you meant with the French actor. Somebody said was it fucking Squirrel Tempura who said it was a French actor, this guy. Someone said this is like a French Swiss actor. This one was horrible. They were all terrible.
Production seemed to transition into the sequels as well. In 1996, The Crow, City of Angels was released as a direct sequel to The Crow. While the character of Eric Draven was not a part of the plot, the hero known as The Crow was transitioned into a man known as Ash Corvin. In the movie, Corvin and his young son were murdered, and just like in the first movie, a supernatural crow brings him back to life to avenge the water, and then it's over. Even though they were different characters, actor Vincent Perez had the tough job of stepping into Brandon Lee's shoes to play
this mime shit. That's not even the crow. There's like shadows missing. He looks like a fucking mime. Is it the French part? Like, you're gonna be a mime. I can play the mime. No problem.
The now iconic role. The film itself went through a number of production issues and problems, mostly as the director Tim Pope and screenwriter David S. Goyer battled with the studio heads over the final output of the movie. Pope and Goyer had a vision of the film much different than
the fucking. Oh yeah, that's right. Iggy Pop was in this shit. Iggy Pop, the only 70-year-old with a fucking six-pack. God damn, Iggy fucking Pop's in here, y'all. Oof. He ain't got no lust for life. He's got lust for death.
The original Crow, but Miramax wanted the film to essentially be as close to the original as possible. Through reshoots and massive edits, the Crow City of Angels went through so many changes that both Pope and Goyer eventually disowned the film altogether. Despite this, Miramax went ahead and released the movie in theaters. While it was able to make a profit, it was ultimately a huge disappointment when compared to the original, and currently sits at only 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So.
The sequel was low-key enough to not tarnish the reputation of the original, and as home media formats and
fucking Iggy Pop, yes. That man has been in the sun way too much. He looks like a leather bag. He looks like he could like pull the skin off him practically, man. Bro, he always looks like he's like locked up when he's on stage. You know, he's just kind of like he's under like electricity or something. Yeah, he's like, Iggy Pop's weird, dude. He's like an amazing musician and stuff, but there's some weird vibes by Iggy Pop,
and
man.
expanded into DVD and Blu-ray, the fandom of The Crow only grew. A Canadian television series aired, and Miramax tried their hand at 2 more straight-to-video sequels based on The Crow. The Crow Salvation and The Crow Wicked Prayer both were released with little fanfare and horrible reviews. Each movie was essentially a rehash of the same story, as a character gets killed and comes back to life to get back at those who did him wrong. The franchise itself was now cursed, as the films had little success and only drove the Crow franchise into the ground, as each new sequel was worse than the last, tarnishing the reputation of the hero and Brandon Lee's original film. The rights to The Crow transferred over to Sony Pictures, and the company saw a bright future for the dark world of The Crow. Still seeing value in the character, Sony Pictures decided to follow the current era of reboots and remakes by focusing on an updated and remade version of the original Crow. Going back to their roots, Sony Pictures decided a larger budget could help the dark and gritty film compete and stand out against the more modern superhero flicks we see today. As development of the Crow reboot began in early 2013, the curse of the movie hit well before any sets could even be built. There seems to be a revolving door around actors attached to the iconic role. Luke Evans was the first star attached to the project, but he left before the script was even finished. Between 2014 and 2017, actors like Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, and Nicholas Hoult were all briefly attached to the movie. While many of these castings were taken as rumors, the Crow reboot finally gained some ground in November 2017 as Jason Momoa was announced as the star, with Corin Hardy helming the director's chair. The casting of Momoa was met with a ton of fanfare and plenty of fan art depicting him as the Crow. Momoa was a fan favorite on the first season of Game of Thrones and already showcased
I think we dodged a bullet with that one. I'm just gonna say it.
Really impressive action skills while playing the role of Aquaman in Justice League and the upcoming Aquaman solo movie. Unfortunately, behind-the-scenes drama hit again, and Momoa was forced to step back from the role months after he announced his participation on the movie. The film's director also left over creative and budget differences despite being just a few weeks away from officially filming. Momoa's starring role in The Crow was scheduled for
There's a small line between mime and cool with the Crow makeup. You either look like a fucking mime or you look badass. It's a very small line and you've got to get it just right. Otherwise you look like you should be out on the street like trying to get out of an invisible box.
Release in 2019, but now the movie's been put on hold indefinitely. It's been over 5 years of development troubles for the movie reboot, and one Hollywood may want to give up on. Even with failed sequels, failed productions, and the original movie that almost never got released, The Crow continues to shine on modern audiences and reach new viewers. Brandon Lee's legacy and iconic role lives on as the movie reaches streaming audiences, has multiple Blu-ray releases, and is constantly referenced in pop culture. Cartoon Network's Robot Chicken featured an extended
Victims, aren't we all? Sorry.
Parody of The Crow as a replacement for the Scarecrow entitled The Nerd is Oz. Despite all the tragedy, the character is still celebrated with t-shirts, posters, and even has its own Funko Pop vinyl figure. Quotes from the movie like "Be with me always" have a much deeper meaning and is often used by fans for merchandise, memes, and online posts. The 1994 film continues to hold up today, even with the early forms of CG and
Funko
real
Pop
sets
is not
used for
something
much
to
of
be
the
proud
action.
of.
Brandon Lee may not have had a long list of movie credits or starring roles, but his name will forever be remembered in Hollywood, not only just for the on-set shooting, but for the work and passion he put into the project. Whether you believe in curses or not, there's no denying the problems and crazy instances that occurred on the set of the movie and have extended the franchise
100%.
as a whole. It's too soon to tell, but we may see The Crow fly again in the future. In the meantime, you can still enjoy the original classic and all the events which surrounded the production and final output of the movie. Well, there you have it. Do you think there should be a remake of The Crow? Do you enjoy any of the sequel?
No, there shouldn't. No. And go back over here for now, for a minute. There shouldn't. So, the short and long of it is, basically, they made a Zoomer Crow. They's like, okay, he needs some tattoos, he needs a fucking mullet, make him a fuckboy, and make him hot, give him a six-pack, boom, we got it. So it lost a lot of the dinginess of the original, a lot of the moodiness, and a lot of like the vibe to the movie is gone, and it just feels very hollowed out by Hollywood and just shit. So yes, it is cooked as shit. You just have to look at like how most of the goth community, like The Crow is like a goth community staple movie. Like a lot of people like grew up with that soundtrack, or they just really vibed with like The Crow's makeup. Like it influences a lot of like goth's makeup as well. Like seeing this trailer was like a shot to the heart for all of us. We were like, oh God, what is this? It's bad. It's cooked. If you want to watch it, but I'm not going to be doing it. It's kind of like when I saw that Ghost in the Shell was being made into a live action and Scarlett Johansson was playing an Asian woman. Nope. Never watched it. Never will. Hell no. Has not launched. No, it comes out in August. I think what I saw was August 22nd. I know that's the European release, but sometime in August it comes out. Yeah. Yes, 100%. It did influence the aesthetics of The Matrix. It did. Ghost in the Shell. I need to do like a whole Ghost in the Shell tangent. Like Ghost in the Shell standalone complex is my absolute top anime. Like a lot of people like don't really think about how fucking in-depth like standalone complex was with the science and the physics and everything to it. Like they were in depth. It was so good. Even a dumb like me understood it. Yeah, so there was a lot of amazing themes in there, and just a lot around like extremism and like radicalization as well, and the whole thought of like the ghost within the system. It's so good. Oh my God. And plus like Yoko Kanno did the soundtrack. Motherfuckers, if you've not seen it, watch it. If you liked Cowboy Bebop's intro, that's Yoko Kanno as well. Yoko Kanno, and like just an amazing fucking composer, did the music for Ghost in the Shell, and it is some of the most iconic music in my opinion. Like Origa, which did the intro song, I believe they were a Ukrainian band, amazing as well. So good. I'll have to find some stuff on that. It's always difficult to do anything anime based because you don't know who the fuck owns it, because anything anime related gets clapped very quickly because Kadokawa likes to be the fucking like asshole of the anime world and strike down any content. Oh my God, it's almost impossible. Like some people have almost lost whole channels over it. It's bad. Didn't she steal a bunch of stuff? I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know. She might have. I mean, everybody steals. The other stuff, like the soundtracks that she did besides that, were good. It wouldn't be surprising though. Oh, okay. The Nintendo of the anime world. Yes, Kadokawa is that, definitely. I can't stand it. Okay, so I'm gonna be wrapping it up because it is 0:49, which means it's 12:49 by me for those of you that don't use military time. I'm so sorry. Yeah. We're gonna raid somebody. Who are we gonna raid? So we've got Esha. Esha's live. Bio's live. Jacob. Let's go to Jacob. I haven't raided Jacob before. Yeah. We'll roll on over to Jacob. So we'll head there. And we'll go say hi to the monkey butt. Do. I always have to make sure I add the little underscore. Da. Yeah, so we'll go to Jacob Johns. Yes. It's intended for certain things, but yes, thanks everybody for showing up. Thanks for being here. Have a good night. I'll probably be live sometime on the weekend again, or see, I've got my nephew around the next few days. He wants to come over and chill. My partner's working, so it's a little difficult. We'll figure it out though, kids. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Thank you for showing up. It was fun. So yeah, have a good night, everybody. And hopefully my fucking dice work next time. So